referencing the now disgraced country. That's the comment of Donald Trump that called Nigeria a now disgraced country. So why? Obi made his own speech around that yesterday. So I've brought that to you tonight. So as you are joining, be reminded that, the least you could do right now, which is also very great, is to like the broadcast, share it, and invite your friends and your not so friendly friends to join us. This morning, the Supreme Court of Nigeria received an August visitor, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So those of you who have been following the sham trial that is currently being, the performative show that is currently being performed by the the regime of APC in Nigeria, the sham trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So those who have heard their own legal views and why his action has seemed to have been, misguided, and others who have felt like, yes, that is Wamadike, the Oyendo himself, a fearless fighter that would never cower in front of his own supposed oppressor. So, divided opinion. On Maiyegun's diary Politico, I want to make you pretty much like in a better place to understand what is really going on, so that you are not totally lost in the wishy-washy propagandized information around this particular subject. So that's why on Maiyegun's diary Politico, it is not about just what Nnamdi Kanu want to prove to anyone. So I will remind you, every one of you, right, that the way I have observed the whole thing, especially the action of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his legal advisors, is that he has nothing to prove legally in Nigerian courts anymore. And there is no surprise they can pull anymore, okay, concerning this. Because everything, the foundation of the whole thing is completely bogus and then faulty. In law, as they say, you cannot build something on nothing. So if you are charging somebody for a crime, and that particular crime go to the appeal court where this individual is discharged and acquitted, it was supposed to walk out of that courtroom. That one is not bail thing. Oh. Once a court says you are discharged and acquitted, you will walk out of that courtroom. And if they feel like, no, they disagree with that judgment, they will go on appeal. It is whenever they go on appeal and or maybe the Supreme Court says, no, he has a case to answer, that is when you can now start the trial again. But he's already won. But they decided not to obey that judgment. Okay? For those of you who have been following it. The latest sort of like action of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is to further expose, not just to those of you, the naysayers. Some of you are his die-hard haters that you can't really define why you hate him, but obviously you hate him, right? Is that even in the face of this, your lawless judiciary, so to say, compromised judiciary, a lawless government that will never obey their own court judgments, I would help you, those of you who have not seen it or not seeing it because it's not affecting you, I'll help you expose this, the rot in your judiciary and how much of compromise, right, they have. However, at the same time, if they decided to agree with him to redeem themselves, like something like, retribution, so to say, okay, you know what, you are right, obviously you are, because he is. You are hereby discharged and acquitted because it's going to get to answer. So now, let me now bring you closer to why Nnamdi Kanu is at the Supreme Court today. On the 20th of November, which is probably like a week from now, Omotosho, who has shown enough biases and all that, the same guy who said that all the part of the evidence that the DSS presented as why Nnamdi Kanu is being charged with terrorism, that some of these Oh, hang on. Yeah. Being charged for terrorism. Oh, hang on. I just got something in there, right? Anyway. So let me retake that. I mean, sorry about that. So what happened is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, right, says that if, like, you can't build something on nothing to start with, okay? However, the supposed Supreme Court at the time, who actually looked into his case when he was being charged with treason, because that was the foundation. So when he won at the appeal court and whatever law they used at the time, and he still pretty much defeated them based on my illegal rendition. Here you get, like, I've got no case in any of your court. And the court agreed. Then they took it to the Supreme Court. So what they took to the Supreme Court at the time, when Nnamdi Kanu was said to not really jump bail, meaning if he had any case in your court right now, even if you want to retry these treason charges, right, he will still have to kind of like go back to his house because he's got a bail initially, right? So if you ignore that judgment from the appeal court, in this case, is that he had a bail. So you should let him go. So they ignore that part, right? Also, they have changed the charges. Now they are charging him for terrorism. This is where they got it wrong now, okay? So they dodged treason because that couldn't go any further. So they changed it to terrorism. Now, terrorism means you still have to find a law that says, oh, this crime you have committed, okay, is considered as an act of terrorism under a certain law in Nigeria. And here is the judgment for that. If you are found guilty of this particular crime under this law, you will go to 10 years in prison, or you will go to life imprisonment, or you are going to get death sentence. That is just the process. So when they left Supreme Court, they didn't release him. So they picked the part where Supreme Court says, if you believe he has a case to answer, then he has a case to answer on this. However, he should still maintain his bail. So they ignored that part. At the same time, they also ignored the charges totally. They now brought another one, terrorism, under a law that has been repealed. I'm talking about a law that no longer exists. How could they make such mistake? How could they be so careless in whatever they are cooking or putting together that the most crucial part of their supposed case, the foundation of their case, is built on non-existing law, repealed law, right? Then Nnamdi Kanu was telling Omotosho, hey, Omotosho, part of the evidence they gave to you, right, that my statement, you have ruled that it's not admissible. That's the part I almost forgot that time, right? That Nnamdi Kanu was said to have made a statement when he was with the DSS, when they kind of like kidnapped him in 2015. So, and then when they kidnapped him again from Kenya in 2021. So they said, this statement they said Nnamdi Kanu signed, from all the evidence of him being locked in solitary confinement, being denied the medication, food, water, you know, all those things, right? That he couldn't use that evidence, like it's probably not admissible. So which ordinarily should have shown that, there is, this whole case is pure trash. No, Omotosho didn't do that. He went on to say Nnamdi Kanu should go and put up a defense. Now, Nnamdi Kanu was like, we've told you about the illegal rendition. That automatically means you can't even try me. You, Omotosho, you don't have jurisdiction to try me. Okay, fine. If you have to try me, could you please let me see my case file? That was when he took over his case. Let me see my case file. So when they gave him his case file, it was like, number one, jurisdiction. You are challenged by jurisdiction, but you ruled yourself and say, no, you have jurisdiction. But by law, you don't. However, hey, Mr. Judge, did you know that they are charging me under a law that has been repealed? And he kept telling him in court and said, I can't put up a defense. If I put up any defense right now, call witnesses and all of that based on the allegations, right? I have already validated that, that their mistake. It won't matter anymore. So I'm not going to put up a defense because their case, my supposed defense, they are all going to be on a faulty law. So you're going to convict me on a law that doesn't exist? Or you're going to discharge me based on the law that doesn't exist? something like that. But Motosho was like, no, he's got to put up his defense. And I was like, no, I'm not going to kind of like validate this case. Number one, you are going to do what you are going to do anyway. You are going to probably, those who are controlling you are going to make you probably give a judgment anyway. Even when you know that there is no foundation for what you are doing. How could the government that promised their own supporters that Nnamdi Kanu has a case to answer, the ones that are continue to make their supporters feel like they've got something against him, how could such governments make a mistake of the foundation of the law? Even when he's pointing that, so that what happened now is that they would have to withdraw the entire case. Do you understand? Even though they want to, I'm just saying, the right thing to do is to what? Withdraw the entire case against Nnamdi Kanu. And the court will be like a no case. They will discharge him and acquit him. The Nigeria will then have to go and sit down, gather evidence against Nnamdi Kanu, put all of their charges properly, and then charge him. That's the right thing to do. But they don't want to do that. So that is why Nnamdi Kanu is at their Supreme Court today. To ask the Supreme Court, Mr. Supreme Court justices, in the court, in your judgment of so day, you ruled this, and that. Did you know that these guys are charging me with something different right now? They are no longer charging me for treason that you ruled on. And they are also charging me based on a law that has been repealed. And the court won't listen to me. He has picked a date to give a judgment on what? So if you ask Omotosho and say, Omotosho, if Nnamdi Kanu is guilty, what is going to be his punishment? Nobody can tell you right now. Maybe some of you will be like, it's going to get 10 years. If we ask you right now that what's a section of Nigerian law is Nnamdi Kanu being charged right now that he will get 10 years in jail? Or what? Like it's going to get life in jail. Like some of you will probably project. You can't say because it doesn't exist. So that's why he's asking the Supreme Court now to say, hey, at least you are supposed to be the highest court in the land. If these guys are not, I need you to put a stop to this madness. This is actually not supposed to be hard. Put an end to this madness and let these guys go back and sort themselves if they want to really charge me for anything. That's why he was in the Supreme Court today. And because he is currently handling his own case himself with the legal advice from his lawyer, so he's representing himself. So he had to kind of present or submit that sort of like a file to the Supreme Court, sort of like admin or their reception that would take in all these documents. And that was captured. So when he arrived at the Supreme Court of Nigeria today, it sort of like turned into a carnival kind of like atmosphere when Nnamdi Kanu arrived. Staff of the court, or others who are like customers of the court, everybody ran outside to come and take a glimpse at that Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah, that's Nnamdi Kanu. It's here Nnamdi Kanu. And that was captured on camera. So I'll show you. This was said this morning, by the way.
Whether you feel let down by the media, because I feel that the media has given
that comes 7 okay, it has been submitted. So when you're not in her office, okay. So this is the thing. Hanging, they give a directive that count 7 doesn't exist anymore. So that they should amend it, change it, it doesn't exist. I still play to that same 14 law.
Yes, it was an error.
It's not an error, big error. So I want them to correct
that.
That
was one of the motions we asked. That your plea should set aside.
That's correct.
It has been heard.
Yes. Oh, yeah. some of the errors and mistakes
Now that judgment.
in the judgment.
And the reason why you should give you a closer date.
Absolutely.
A closer date to hear the motion.
Yeah, only on sources.
The things that you listed. The fundamental error.
It's shown on at the main judgment is upon it. Page 22, page 25, page 26, page 27. The main thing would have not has now repealed laws and not found any prosecution. They still remitted back repealed laws to the High Court.
For the Federal High Court to correct it.
Oh, it's true. To correct it. They have not corrected it. So I have to come back here.
For them to correct it.
Yes, they didn't correct it because it's an error on the face of the record.
And there are some directives were hanging. And it was not compliant.
Yes, especially with Camp 7.
And that was the reason why
Absolutely.
Why it should.
I need to know because how could we have judgment? They said that my Camp 7 does not. This is for this is your production. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So that was the brief force. It was just there to file his, his appeal. Two requests. Please interpret, because Supreme Court, please quickly interpret this section of the law that says that you can't really charge me for anything without, an existing law to the, and then interpretation of some of the judgments back then, the judgments that the Supreme Court gave, which these criminals also ignored. And finally, the Supreme Court should take a stand by discontinuing the entire, shenanigans, including the scheduled judgment of November 20. Now, like I said from the start, from my own perspectives, right? As much as we know that what is going on is a complete persecution, an injustice, and the right thing to be done is to let justice prevail. Nnamdi Kanu is not afraid to stand in your courts, okay, and defend any charges. That is the man I have seen. He's not afraid. But you cannot ignore all this, legal point that is kind of like a pointing out. If you're not even a lawyer, it's so easy and readable, including quotes and references to instances like that. So all you need to do is to read up, and then you can see how faulty the nonsense they put together. But the agenda is to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu never see outside, right? Until maybe when they decided to let him be outside. And that's the persecution. That is not prosecution, right? So he won't defend himself before a law that doesn't exist, right? At the end of the day, okay, it's just to get to a predetermined end after all. So Supreme Court may not even look into this application. Meanwhile, the urgency at which he kind of like submitted it, even under their law, means that the Supreme Court needs to kind of like convene and take a decision on this. But because the power that be, the criminals in charge of Nigeria, right, who have decided to compromise the judiciary to this level, all they have to do is to make sure that the Supreme Court doesn't pick their case. Not now, and not even when the November 20. So if you're doubting me, ask Fubara. PDP governors went to court when Tinubu declared state of emergency in Rivers State for 6 months. So the PDP governors of Forum, they went to court to challenge that. They went to the Supreme Court, right? So they were supposed to be assigned, it was like supposed to be an accelerated case, right? Baba? Fubara spent that 6 month suspension and the state of emergency. It was like a week or 2 weeks after, when Fubara was already being like reinstated. That was when the Supreme Court now was like ready to look into the case. So it went over, sort of like overridden it. So, so that's why I said that Nnamdi Kanu doesn't have anything to really prove legally to them anymore. It is just to help them continue to show their own folly. So that those of you who believes in, still has a tiny belief in any of their system, then you can understand that a country where the rule of law and then the judiciary is compromised, rule of law doesn't exist, that is not a country. It is even worse than the Banana Republic. Trust me. And talking about Banana Republic, with the Wike's display that went viral 2 days ago, continue to generate reactions, right? So the first set of the reactions came from everybody, like on social media and other places, right? However, behind the scene, the real story has started coming up, okay? So from what I have gathered, this issue of land is more like complicated than what they want to let out. Maybe not that complicated because it's a bit straightforward, but complicated in the sense that it is a man knows man who knows who in this sense. Something that with the Wike believes that no matter who knows what, who knows who, okay, it will still pretty much come out on board. A miscalculation. So this land in question, right, is owned by a retired rear admiral, being a vice admiral, or a few, who still maintain a very cordial relationship with the current VDM, vice admiral or something. So when Wike's land agents discovered this part of Abuja and they were interested in it, so they decided, right, to start like revoking the CFOs of people and all of that, and that includes this man's land. And there were already like projects being done on the land. So when Wike told them to stop projects, like as usual, government will come and say, you've got no approval and you should stop work. By law, they were supposed to stop work because they didn't get any approval for you. And them not getting approval, it's not because they didn't apply for this approval, it is because Wike won't give any approval. Those who got approvals before this person, they were all going to lose their properties. So what's the point? You've been denied the approval, so you won't get it. But they knew why, because it's because Wike and his agent are interested in the land. So man knows man, who knows who. So that one put his own lever in their government. And that was how the current chief of naval staff got involved. That was how those soldiers, those naval officers, that was how they ended up on that property. Because prior, Wike and his agents have been trying, okay, to break into the compound. They've brought out their bulldozers and all that until when the soldiers came. So they couldn't walk. So they said that on that fateful day, Wike was called to say, hey, we found soldiers here. They won't let us demolish anything. They said if we start the machine, they will shoot us. So they said Wike, because he knew the person who was the owner of the land, right? The guy who was like building something there, okay? So Wike called the chief of, called Minister of Defense, Badru. Then also called the Chief of Defense Staff. Both of them told Wike to hang on and let them handle it. They will come back to him. But Wike won't take any of that, as usual. So he called his convoy, his security, and the rest of them jumped straight into the convoy and they drove down. And what happened that day happened. So when that happened, these guys who initially were aware and they told him to hang on, they became a little bit disappointed, possibly like enraged. Because when Wike got to the scene, he still put a call through to the CDS, who he spoke to less than 15 minutes ago, right? Who told him, yeah, don't worry, we'll do something about that. Okay, so don't worry, Minister. So going ahead to go and like try to assault this officer, they didn't take that lightly. And that was what the CDS simply told him that, oh, you are the same. So when the CDS asked Wike to give the phone to this police officer, this officer, so and he explained himself. So when the phone was given back to Wike, the same thing he was told about 20 minutes ago, when he was somewhere, maybe his office, was the same thing the CDS repeated on the phone. Mr. Minister, I told you that we will handle this. You know what I mean? So I need to speak to the person who, So Wike wasn't happy about that. Okay. So behind the scene, the likes of Buratai the Butcher, the former COS or something, right? That killer, reacted and said that Wike's action requires him to, to place an open apology and apologize for him to like humiliate a commissioned, military officer like that. But Tawali as well were like behind the scene, they were all kind of like complaining, like, murmuring. I don't know, maybe it's that complaints or somehow that happened. That forced Wike to call, as usual, to call his own press conference. So then he started telling us how he respects institutions, he respects military, he respects this and that, but he couldn't just sit back and watch when government officials were being harassed by soldiers, threatened. And he's actually like a habitual liar. People who lie for no reason, lying without provocation, right? So Wike,
what was the problem? How can I sit as a minister? Government officials have been attacked. Government officials have been beaten up. Government officials to the level of directorship. Then I'm sitting in my office doing what? How will such officials carry out their functions again when they know their principal or their boss cannot protect them? Not as private individuals, as government officials. So many people have had problems. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former general, former head of state, former president, he will call me on phone. Minister, look, there is problem of land here. I say, please carry. I will solve the problem. That is former head of state, former elected president. We have the courtesy of calling the minister. Look, I have this problem. I have this problem. See how you can look into it. General Tiwadan Juma will call you. Look, there is this and this. These are people who, they all retired generals. These are people with constant discipline. They didn't bother because they were former chief of minister. They were former president. They never sent soldiers. They never sent anybody to go and attack anybody. They just call you. And respect the guests. Respect. Have to respect. And I'll tell them, sir, don't worry. I will sort out the problem. And I will do. I won't even talk about other people who are highly placed. They will come to you. Mr. Minister, maybe we didn't know of this. If we knew, we would have done it like this. When a serving Major General attacked the development control, I wrote a letter. The present chief of defense staff was chief of army staff then. I wrote a letter, sir. Because that is a serving military officer. That if anything goes wrong, he's still under the authority, under the control of the military. When I came on board, before them, President Jonathan had awarded a contract to develop another city, which was close to the military, but awarded a contract, not me. A federal council presided over by the CNC. Awarded. The contractor went there, he was just away. I wrote a letter. We met. The late chief of army staff, Alabangi, was there. The former chief of defense staff was there. These same ministers of defense, they were all there. We all met. I said, look, it is not good, this government and government. I mean, it's not, let's see how we can resolve this matter.
He has no job.
He has.
With a wicked they explain. It's not that in his usual boisterous, garrulous, drunk talk. You get. It's like he's explaining to us something they cook behind. Will the wicked be like somebody they don't really like, or at the same time somebody they just couldn't do without for now? He has given them a lot. He has helped them to destroy his own party. He's pretty much homeless now. If anything should happen, Bas, and Wike gets sacked. Hey, I think that's going to even be worse than Wike getting kidnapped by maybe Fulani terrorist. I mean, if they say, oh, Wike has been kidnapped by Fulani terrorist, I mean, God forgive me, oh, there are so many of you here that will actually probably just like laugh and dance. And then you ask for forgiveness after, right? But sacking Wike, hey. So there are some people within their government that Wike himself knows that they cannot by any means be pressured and fall for that pressure in a way that, you know what I mean? If they, for instance, if Bajabi Amole, you get me now, if Bajabi Amole decided that, Chief of Staff, Minister Wike, we are doing a cabinet reshuffle. Now, so it go start to cabinet reshuffle. They say you're now going to go to Ministry of Tourism. Tourism, okay. They go do another reshuffle. They will say Wike has been dropped, and President Tinubu has asked, is grateful for all his work, his tremendous, greatest, they go praise him. And so Wike go beginning the journey to the wilderness. So watch his countenance. He's explaining to us. You would think Wike had a clash with the minister, with the Chief of Defense Staff. Yeah, that's the highest military chief. The way Wike is explaining to us, you would think Wike had a fight with the Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria in the military. No, he had a clash with a naval officer, a junior officer, not junior like that, but a captain or something. That's the person he had an argument with. And he called a press conference a day after, 2 days after all the robodino behind the scene, to explain to me and you what really happened and why we must try to work. There is more. Watch this part.
What was the problem? How can I sit as a minister? Government officials have been attacked. Government officials have been beaten up. Government officials to the level of directorship. Then I'm sitting in my office doing what? How will such officials carry out their functions again when they know they are their principal or their boss cannot protect them? Not as private individuals, as government officials. So many people have had problems. Chief Olusegun Passenger, former general, former head of state, former president, he will call me on phone. Minister, I look good at this problem of land here. I say, please carry. I will solve the problem. That is former head of state, former elected president. We have the courtesy of calling the minister. Look, I have this problem. I have this problem. See how you can look into it. General Tiwadan Juma would call you. Look, there is this like this. These are people who, they're all retired generals. These are people with constant discipline. They were former president. They never sent soldiers. They never sent anybody to go and attack anybody. They just call you. And respect the gas, respect. I have to respect. And I'll tell them, sir, don't worry. I will sort out the problem. And I will do. I won't even talk about other people who are highly placed. They will come to you. Mr. Minister, maybe we didn't know of this. If we knew, we would have done it like this. When a serving Major General attacked the development control, I wrote a letter. The President Chief of Defense Staff was Chief of Army Staff then. I wrote a letter, sir. See. Because that is a serving military officer. That if anything goes wrong, he's still under the authority, under the control of the military. When I came on board, before then, President Jonathan had awarded a contract to develop another city, which was close to the military. Awarded a contract, not me. A Federal Council presided over by the CNC. Awarded. The contractor went there, he was just away. I wrote a letter. We met. The late Chief of Army Staff, Alabangi, was there. The former Chief of Defense Staff was there. These same ministers of defense, they were all there. We all met. I said, look, it is not good, this government and government. I mean, it's not, let's see how we can resolve this matter. I never one day, I respect the institutions. And I know what it takes. Even as a governor, nobody, no governor will say that they supported the military more than me. So I know. But how do you see a private individual knowing fully well that you are against the law? It is not military versus government. No. If it was military, I would have written to them that, look, military, why are you doing this? This is a private individual. Land was not allocated to him. Land was allocated to a company called Santos in 2007 for parks and recreation. They applied to the former minister for change of use. The minister refused. The man went, started selling land. Maybe the former chief of staff fell into their scam, sold. This government property. It's not your property. If government officials came to say, look, what are you doing here now? This is not, government has sat under the ministerial committee and taken back every land under parks and even under secretariat, because we felt that there are a lot of delays, suits, litigations. We said, no, we won't continue with that. You send this to start beating government officials. Not private, but government officials, beating them. Senior government officials, you were beaten. You couldn't even say, okay, let me get to the minister. See how he can help us, No, not like that. Simply because you had a relationship with the military. And government cannot enforce laws because you are attached or you had a relationship with a particular institution. Or you come from a particular place. Who does that? Who does such thing? How would this country progress?
Wike, telling us about law and obeying laws. And of course, if the soldiers beat up the civilians, they will probably have recorded on camera as well, right? There is no record of anybody being beaten. So whatever Wike is pulling, among many things he's put himself into, here you get, well, this particular one is probably like going to take a chunk part of the space he's got left, the chance he's got left. So you can say his days are numbered, but at the same time, right, his phobia for military came from his experience when he said he was a governor. And that person called General Samba or something. You remember that time that when he spoke about somebody who threatened him and said he would shoot him, and that person is now working for Referendum, and that is why he would never go to Referendum's office. Remember that time, Wike?
Come, do you know what happened in 2019? There's one GOC, they call him General Saham. General Saham. I hear he works with NSA now, in NSA's office. General Saham. The man was brought as a sitting governor. He didn't see me eye. He came to the university, so he will never see me. He turned the GOC division, the 6th division, to INEC office. Let me tell you, I made you promise him to make him the next chief of army staff. Let me tell you. Look. When I see people are talking about this government is doing this, I say, come, do you know what you're talking about? Which government? I saw a government, federal level, moving to a state like what is happening now in Gaza. I say, I saw the General Saham ordered that I should be shot. General Saham. That's why when I heard that is in the next office, I refused to go there again.
And yet this is the same APC you are supporting.
It's not the APC. Please, I'm supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. General Saham. No. Don't let me tell Nigerians everything. General Saham ordered, as a sitting governor, I should be shot. The colonel refused. He detained the colonel for 6 months. So when I see people talking about, look, the government's after you, I say, government, do you know, in 2015, I've never seen that in my military, in their uniform, army in their uniform, we are coming to the tribunal to give evidence. Every policeman that came to give evidence in our favor, we are all removed. We are all sacked and dismissed. All. I say all. What is anybody talking about?
But in this game,
the point I'm making, don't run, don't worry, take it easy. Nigeria, General Saham is there. A sitting governor to be shot? Come.
That man traumatized Wike. He kept shouting, General Saham. General Saham. He wished that Referendum will wake up the following day and just sack this General Saham. That person traumatized Wike since 2019. He said he doesn't go to Referendum's office because of General Saham. So just to remind you that there are people who actually will take a chance and shoot with Wike, shoot aside if they have the opportunity, even within the military. That Wike himself knows. So why did he go to that place to confront that officer? Because it is Wike. In his element, now like this in Bill.
Stop shaking your head. Because that's a cover for you. You should stop shaking your head. You are one of those who are causing problems. They gave you chieftaincy, a young boy, so you don't even know what to do with it. And then when I'm speaking, you shake your head like this. Oh, fake. Causing problem everywhere. You just go and wear something that's bigger than you. When somebody looking for power, you would think that an elderly person, very small young man, this man. I know when I was in school, he was running about, running around, going for errand. Nice, wearing Osman Danfodio. Then he began to breach a protocol. He thinks that when he shakes his head, then I will be happy. That's fake. That's fake. Will you stop that? Will you stop that?
I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, put yourself.
Will you
get out?
I won't shut up.
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will you keep quiet? Get me a big food.
I'm not
You are the fool.
I'm not a fool,
You think
sir.
I shoot anybody like that?
Sir, I'm not
You
a
are the
fool.
fool.
I am not a fool, sir.
As at the time I
Don't call me a
graduated,
fool.
you were in primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
Take for
You
which
can't
order?
call me a fool.
You will see whether you love me here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Where are you from?
I'm an officer. I'm not a fool, sir.
Okay, I'm with you. So corrupt. You will have killed everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporumpium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia neonantorum. Conclusively, we are a microcosm of the issues in the Niger Delta in the macrocosm. Today, we as a people are stating, voxe populi, voxe Dei.
Anyway, at the end of the day, while Wike was entertaining the journalists, the media, there's already a directive for him to withdraw all his machinery from the scene. So which means somehow, Wike may be putting up a face or behind the scene. It is a different ball game. So for the first time in Wike's madness and land grabbing escapade in Abuja, he got a pushback from those that probably like hold more power than him. So the people around that area, they saw when the kata, the bulldozer, the usual one they used to demolish people's properties, were seen being towed away from the scene, like this one.
LCG don't carry that so good. Shame on you. Wike don't go with his truck. Soldier win this fight too. FCD. Only one he locks of soldier.
Every time they go, they're supposed to give order, say, may they destroy.
May they destroy. STD don't pack their truck, though. Wike don't go. You want to collect soldier land?
You know why? People, when they die for their land, they die for this land. Now you won't collect out from them. Very short now. Very short. Now these people, they die for this land. Because if they won't happen now.
I'm telling you, Wike don't carry shame, go. Same boys on the floor. Power pass power. Power pass power.
They hear them? Power pass power. It's a Nigerian thing. something that the law could have easily resolved. They knew that Wike is just stealing people's lands. Most of the elites that are keeping quiet right now is because most of them are not directly affected. And that is why. So the military guys who decided to put their own power and say, yeah, no, you're not going to do that. Not here. Right? By law, there shouldn't have been any sort of confrontation, right? In this instance that we involved Wike. He is not an enforcer, he's a minister. Okay? He's just there to put in place whatever Tifnumbu's policies are for Abuja. That's his own. Abuja has no state assembly, it's the National Assembly that legislates for Abuja. So which simply means that things that has to do with law and implementation of that, right, is his own duty. For enforcement, there is another segment, a section of government that does that. Not you, the Agbero, drunkard, minister. That's not how it's done. So by law, if this person had initially, right, violated any form of land code or whatever, all you have to do is to write them, and then the court will take the charge. If the court ruled that they were wrong, the police and the court bailiff, they will effect that judgment. You, minister, nothing. But because it's Nigeria, right? It's a place where there's no law. Per se, these guys are above the law. So he kept saying, people come, they came to him, people come to him, and we will resolve their issue illegally. You get that now? So those who have no direct number, and those they've blocked out, they don't want to see, and they will take their land deliberately, right? They will ignore any form of contact. They could have come to my office. You should have come to me and let us talk about it. That's bullshit. Why should they come to you? For what? You have a ministry. You have all this department. Their job is to look into all of this. If they are doing their job constitutionally, they don't need to see the minister. Why should they be calling you? For what? Why are you interested in lands and you're not that interested in building schools, renovating schools? Sure, you get now modernizing hospitals and all those things that you can say, he's so passionate. Why is everything land? Because it is land grabbing, pure and simple. It's not like this, we need to build this here, we need to build that here. No, he's not building anything. Just grab the land, reallocate the land, right? Give the CFO on them for another 100 years. But this guy is using 100 years CFO for people, his own children, with tens of thousands of hectares of land allocated to them in that Abuja now. I bet some of the children probably have no clue where those lands are at the end of the day. Right? So, with the Wike and the soldiers. Now, let's check on the soldiers. Because, since Donald Trump's statement, right? The Nigerian army, they have been trying to prove to us that they are still capable. They can deal with the terrorists. But more and more people are being killed every day too. So the new guy, who is their chief of army staff. So it was in Borno yesterday, and no good today, meeting with the soldiers, according to him. Those who are fighting the terrorists in northern Nigeria, those who are maintaining peace in the eastern Nigeria, and all that stuff, right? So it's a statement. Let's go to that Borno first, I think. Then we're going to go to Ibadan, by the way, after that.
From the top hierarchy of the army, we know you are here. We appreciate what you are doing to ensure that the security situation within this general area is conducive. Be rest assured that we are going to give you all what you require. Your welfare is top priority. And take pride in what you are doing. The soldiers, take pride in that. Your mere presence in this place has improved the general situation here. It's because of your presence that certain people are going about their normal activities. So take pride in what you are doing. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
You deployed here. Look at your general areas where you are. Not everybody can do this job. For you to be a soldier, You must be physically fit, mentally alert, agile. It's not everybody. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I want you to listen to your officer. He will lead you well. With discipline and show courage at every step of the way. You are growing up in the job. Most of the officers have come with. Some 33 years ago, they were also deployed to locations like this. The CSM behind there, my visit is coinciding with the RSM convention that is taking place in Yorubas.
Morale high. That's motivational talk for them, right? And it was in Enugu too. I'm trying to kind of like use it and faster tonight and see if we can take calls, right? So Enugu, when he met with the soldiers in Enugu, this is what he told them.
Good afternoon. How are you? How's the morale? How is the morale? How are you? I'm Lieutenant General Shaibu, the Chief of Army Staff, and I'm first and foremost to convey our appreciation to the good job you are doing within the Southeast region. I have been briefed by the General Officer Commanding, and he has told me how disciplined you are and how committed you are to the mission. I want to encourage you to remain steadfast, disciplined, and resolute as we carry out the task before you. The job before you, the job of soldiering, is a noble one, and you must continue to uphold our values, the Army core values. Obey your officers who stand before you in all legal orders they gave you, and do due diligence as you carry out your mission. I want to congratulate you so far and the division in particular for the successful conduct of the Anambra State elections. It would not have been possible without the professionalism you exhibited. Are you promising me you will uphold that?
Yes, sir.
Are you promising me that?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now the issue of your welfare of troops is top priority, and will continue to uphold the soldier first concept, which will go a long way in ensuring you having the welfare of your troops, the welfare of every officer and every soldier will be taken properly. So remain committed, resolute in the conduct of your missions and all assigned tasks. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
We're running short.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
Loriro. We wish them well, by the way. I wish them well. Because if they are allowed to do their job, it is to the betterment of everyone, I believe. So what everybody wants is for them to do their job, get rid of the terrorists who have, shrunk the Nigeria's economy like beyond any describable kind of like, imagination. So we wish them well, or wish him well, and others. The people of Eastern Nigeria, especially Imo State, where the Nigerian government have militarized for years now, right? Under the guise of looking for the IPOB, in which they have further aggravated the entire security structure of the Eastern Nigeria. Politicians continue to arm so many of these drug-addicted young people. But because the agenda is to actually target young Igbos by these supposed government officials whose job is to provide security. Well, extortion of young people in Nigeria is very much not new, especially for those who remember what led to the EndSARS protest in 2020. Police harassment, extortion. There's worse and worse of such experiences that's still very much prevalent in the eastern part of Nigeria today. A crime being committed, a crime being committed by the supposed security agents, where innocent young people have become the victims of this crime. Here is, an AOP from Imo State, hearing or probably sharing or raising awareness on this pandemic. I think you should know. Watch this.
Adama, Umunnem Ndimo. We keep saying something about police extortion in Imo State, and it is unfortunate that some police officers or alleged police officers are still roaming the streets of Owerri, cornering young men, bringing them down from the bus where they are, and putting them in their own bus and taking them somewhere to extort them. This is another case of police extortion in Imo. My brother, you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
What is your name?
My name is Akim Lukman Okoyemi.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ogun State.
Something happened.
Yes, sir.
Tell us.
Okay, I'm a carpenter. I'm doing carpentry, so I have a work in Warri. So, and I'm living in Imo State because my wife is here. So yesterday I came home say make I come see, make I just come home and go back to my work. So as I come, so motor dropped me for Asaba from Warri. So I can't enter another motor from Asaba to Onisha. From Onisha coming down to Owerri. So I tell the motor you should stop me for Erirano. As I stop for Erirano, there's a road that we can follow to fly over, so that I can enter motor with the go to Apakuma. That's my destination. So as I can't enter that motor from that Erirano, so I just see Imo bus way park in front of our motor, coming down with gun. 3 policemen wearing police uniform with face mask. So the driver is there, that's 4. So they now said I should come down. I can't tell them, say for what? They say they want to search me. I can't come down, give them my bag. They say no. Say I'm a Yahoo boy. They see he go for it. I tell them, say I'm a carpenter. I don't know anything. I know they drink, I know they smoke. Okay, they started harassing me, beating me, say make I enter their motor. As they carry him like this, I can't see one boy where they carry, where they put anchor for his hand. So I no gree enter. So they use gun to eat me by my side. They force me enter the motor. As they can't force me enter the motor, my mind they talk, say whether if they reach where they talk, say they see something, they will drop, they will check, and they will use that thing to accuse me. They did not stop, they just carry me, they go control. So there's a track road beside that control side where we say they follow. So as they are going, they can't see one POS. They collect my wallet, check my wallet. They see one ATM for there, for inside my wallet. As they see one ATM inside my wallet, they say, "Na me get them." I tell them, say yes, na me get the ATM. So they quarter say they don't know, say na my own. Say I go to the ATM, they won't check the ATM whether na my own. So they can't call one POS, make him come beside their motor. That POS come, they wind up the glass, they don't wind it down very well. They say make him bring the POS. They can't give her my card. say make you check my account balance. I can't tell them say why would you check my account balance for what? If you want to know say na my own, let me withdraw 1,000 inside. Then you will believe say na my own. They can't lock, they won't wind up. They say they made the PS, they go. They started beating me. They put handcuff in my hand. So when they reach one road, we say there's nobody. They drop the guy where they carry for back. They give him his own ATM back. They don't beat the guy tired. The guy no fit walk again. As they drop the guy like this, they pin me for one side. So they start driving. They go. As they can't enter one road for along that everyday supermarket, there's one checking point there. As they enter there, they can't look front like this. They see police in their front in that checking point like this. They tell the driver making reverse back. He reverse back.
Was the driver wearing police uniform?
Yes, he himself is wearing police uniform.
Okay, they saw a police checkpoint.
Yes, sir.
And they told the driver to reverse.
Reverse back. So they can't follow another road. So as they follow another road, they stay under police again. They tell them say make him reverse to make him follow another road. Where we say we go bus for Concord side. So as we bought for Concord side, now they with my mind they tell me say guy just tries to cooperate with them. You say the money where they won't collect, make you give it to them or this or that. So I can't they beg them say I beg. My account balance abi, Oyamo find POS so that he go check them. I don't know what I want to do with it. They can't call one POS, they can't check them. They see 395 inside my account. The OP, they say make I open my OP password. I open and they see 2 something there. Then I said make I transfer money with day for my OP to my UBA. I transfer it. They call POS. They withdraw almost 495,000 inside my account. After they withdraw the money like this, they can't see another app again. They say make I open this app. That's PalmPay. I say this phone is not for me. This phone is my wife's phone because my own spoiled. I take his own, go there, and I don't buy another phone. I won't go return a phone for her. I don't sabi the password of this phone. Then I started beating me. When they see the I no talk, they can't carry me. Say make I call that my wife, make it started sending money. And these people wear police uniform, using face mask with gun in their hand. I said, nah, phone be this. I can't call my wife. She no get any phone. They started beating me. When they see I no talk, they can't go drop me for Abba Road. Come back again. Started their operation. That's how it is that yesterday. So
did you notice the kind of vehicle they were?
Naimo was they carry.
What color? What color?
It's just Archie's color, plain Archie's color, and no plate number.
No plate number.
Yes.
Do you have the receipts?
I have all the receipts
in
my account.
At which point, where did this
police criminals? Now, right now, I bet you are possibly feeling like, what if they are not policemen? What if they are just criminals who are just extorting, kidnapping people and extorting them? What do you think, the way they operate? What do you think, or where do you think they got the idea of the operation from? Because the Nigerian police, SARS, and the rest of them, that is what they called raiding. Back in the days, when people are raided on the road, they don't drop them by the roadside, except if those ones know them very well to say, okay, you know what, let me give you something and let me go. They will take you to their police station. You will be dropped to the police officers at the counter, who will then register or book you. So for you to leave the station, you have to part with money, even if you have done nothing. If they found nothing on you. I have been a victim myself. And I think I've shared the story on this platform before, right? So that is how they operate. They operate. The one chance operators, they operate differently. Those ones are going to pretend like passenger buses or taxis to take their victims. But the police, they raid. You can see up to 3-4 people in their vehicle. And also, they use POS very much. So what I mean is that with this kind of story, it simply means these criminals can be tracked and they can be found. Another part of the story is the victim himself, a Yoruba young man that is living in Imo State with his wife. Coming back from work, and he was stopped by the policemen that took him and extorted him, beat him up. He lives and worked in Imo State. A young man. And from his own experience, this time around, like, that's something about injustice. When you hear that phrase of, phrase of injustice anywhere, is a threat to justice everywhere. And there's something about the level, the injustice as well. It doesn't discriminate. everybody is going to be a victim. Everybody, whether you are rich or you are poor, whether you are young or you are old, it doesn't matter. Injustice in the system would affect everybody, everyone, no matter where you are. Even those of us who are like living abroad, they touch us. What's going on in that contraption? As it's touching the people we love, it's touching us, except if you are going to live in denial. That's the level of injustice. Economic injustice, security injustice, systemic injustice, ethnic injustice, religious injustice. Everybody will have their own share. If the religious injustice doesn't affect you, economic injustice would affect you, right? If it is the same thing with the systemic injustice, when people are profiled and targeted, right? At the end of the day, even there will be some outliers. So it's not going to be the people they are targeting alone. There will be others that will also fall victim of it. You have to frown at injustice. It doesn't matter if you have not become a direct victim of it. Wherever you see it, speak up, say something, because it could be your own turn. Let him finish his story.
Where did they stop to make the POS?
They first stop in control. Before we reach control roundabout, they can't follow one track road. That control where they stop, they want to check my account balance. I no agree. That's why they leave that one. They can't follow that track road, bust out for every supermarket. That's where they see police, where they reverse back. On their way going to Concord, that's when a lot of POS is there. As we draw for this one, they go stop. We draw for another one, they go stop. We draw for another one. That's how we do everything.
All of them were wearing face masks.
All of them, and they wear police uniform. All of them.
And they were carrying gun.
3 of them carry gun. The driver, there's no gun with the driver, but he wear police uniform.
What language were they speaking?
Yeah, one is speaking Igbo and one is speaking English with me.
Okay, are they dark or yellow, or can you describe their color?
One is yellow and the rest are dark.
Okay, can you tell us their height, as in fat, thin, or let's see if we can really identify these people?
Those people that come outside, they know they're too fat, but they get body small. They would come up.
They don't have this this.
No, they don't have. They just get body. They got body, as a person with they fat. Okay, that's how their body is.
All right. Thank you very much.
Because
we keep saying this thing now. This is not 1, this is not 2, this is not 3, this is not 4. This our brother is not even the 5th or the 7th or even the 10th victim of police extortion in Imo State. And of course, we will package this to the CP of Imo State and to the Intelligence Department of Imo State Police Command. Probably our brother will also have to give them descriptions, because what we are doing is to save especially the youths. You see how they collected almost 495,000 naira from his account. A struggling young man. A young man that is struggling. They collected that amount, such amount of money from him. Please, everybody should be careful. Everybody should be careful. If it is important, if it is very, very necessary for you to raise alarm and start shouting, when such people accost you, when they confront you, raise alarm. Draw the pop, because when these things are happening, I know people we are working walking around, or maybe going through and seeing how everything was doing.
People is there walking around, but the way they handle me and with their uniform,
okay,
they respect police with their uniform.
Okay.
So when they talk say, this boy is a Yahoo boy, this or that, people were shouting. The next thing that they would do, they would just cock gun and start harassing me. But because I have incidents in where I take work, this place like this, I fell down and this place broke. When say I just go do it, that's why I don't get power. That's how they have the power of putting me inside the car. When I reached out, I explained to my wife. My wife was telling me, say, she be in the tell me, say, Akwakuma, they always come there in the night, carrying small boys, carry them, go one place like this, started collecting their money, redrawing it from POS. That's how they make money now. They always come with Imo Boss every night for Akwakuma.
Please, I also Akwakuma. My speed bat. Amakohia, Speedbat Avenue, that Rochas roundabout. I was here yesterday. Plenty of them at Speedbat as at yesterday. We are calling upon the CP, Abokidan Juma. You are a good man, but some police officers or alleged police officers, because I don't know why a police officer should see a police checkpoint and he will reverse his vehicle and run away and take another route. Please, sir, we are begging you. we are begging you to look into this matter. These people are held.
Hopefully they will look into the matter, right? Another victim. Unfortunately, right, the victim of my next story, they won't have a chance of demanding for justice. I don't think so. Now I'm talking about that madman that killed over 24 people on the eve of their 2023 elections. Dogua, the man I shared this video with you a few days ago in London. Yeah, and then I told you his story. Well, he has now given the reasons, giving us the reason, or supposedly is giving his colleagues the reason why he went to London to make those videos. According to him, there were those who told him that he would not be welcomed in some certain countries, and because of that, because of their petitions, if he stepped his foot on any of these countries, right, including UK, he would be arrested. When I shared this story on Maiyegun's diary, Politico, 2 days ago, reactions of the people, most of them was like, wow, this, like, angry. But there were others who were saying, why can't we just write a petition to the UK government and get him arrested? Well, the reason why he came to London to do that video and all of that, according to him, is to prove people like you and me wrong, that our petition will do no shit to him. Of course it won't, since Nigerian court has already removed his name from the murder list. The people he hired to kill these people, including himself, they are still standing trial for murder right now. But Ogua is in his elegance, his elegance rather, right? With, according to him, with his 10 wives and 30 children. Listen to this.
Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Ian Zozo. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise by name as Honorable Alhassan Ado Dogua, representing the good, the bad, and the ugly people of Dogua Tudunwada Federal Constituency in this respected assembly.
So are they bad and ugly?
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, sir.
What is the percentage?
There is no two way about it, Mr. Speaker.
What is the percentage of the good as against the bad and the ugly?
That I will get the right statistics and get to you, sir. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am the Sardauna of Rano in Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I am the Barden Saminaka in Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, today I am the Gado Damasu of Wike in Karu local government of Nasarawa State.
Wonderful.
Mr. Speaker,
I'm counting 3 already.
I am Damburam of Bukuyum in Zamfara State.
That's the 4th one.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am respectively also Dalatun Kangiwa in Kebbi State. And to cap it all today, Mr. Speaker, by the opening, by your window, by your grace, I am also graciously turbaned in a very highly celebrated occasion as the Sardauna of the Hausa Kingdom around the globe.
Does that
I am the Sardauna of Kasar Hausa Metuta.
Does that title cover the whole of Plateau, including Wase?
It covers every Hausa speaking community.
Including Wase local government?
Including Zaria, which is a Hausa Bakwe. Mr. Speaker, including Zaria, Zazzau, which is a Hausa Bakwe by history. Including Kano, where Madaki comes from, which is Hausa Bakwe.
No more questions.
I am the Sardauna of the Hausa Kingdom by the grace of His Highness, the Emir of Daura, His Highness Umar Farouk. Come this way because I want to actually assert my traditional authority and to let people know that I am a man of integrity. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. My attention, and I've realized my attention has also been drawn to a very viral video that went so viral in the Nigeria's media space. Mr. Speaker, this video, of course, to those who may not know the reasons behind it, sounded and appeared to be very strange. Mr. Speaker, I think I'm under moral obligation. I'm also under moral responsibility as a member of this great institution to provide some clarifications. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I was in United Kingdom, London specifically, on an official assignment. I went to London, Mr. Speaker, along with some relevant government agencies on advocate to global oil operators to come and invest in Nigeria. It was a campaign outing on behalf of the Nigerian government. And I want to report to this House that the campaign was quite successful. We have been able to convince foreign and global investors that Nigeria is a safe haven for investment in the oil and gas sector. Mr. Speaker, most of the concerns investors had was that we have issues of legislation today, legislation tomorrow. And we were able to address them to understand that our legislation will always be in the national interest. And our legislation will be covered, most especially in the oil and gas sector, by the almighty PIA, the Petroleum Industry Act. Mr. Speaker, at the end of our official engagements, I decided to take it off onto a lighter mood. But beyond a lighter mood, Mr. Speaker, it was an action that was born out of a point of responsibility and protecting of my own political experience and my political position as a politician from my state. Mr. Speaker, I want to say on record that you all know that during the last elections, I came through a lot of stories, controversies, which were completely addressed through court processes. Today, I am bold to say that I don't stand any allegation of any case against anyone of whatever sort in any of the courts we have in Nigeria. I have my judgments right from the magistrate court to the state high court to a federal high court in Kano and to a federal high court in Abuja here and to the appeal court. I am as clean as every Nigerian. But so unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, because one is unfortunately coming from a state where politics is being played with bitterness, where politics is being played with a lot of anger, a lot of enmity, where politics sometimes is taken as a matter of do or die. Some people, and some of them in authority, public offices, went and conspired with some group of unprofessional lawyers in my state, only to carry petitions, Mr. Speaker, carried petitions to all of the foreign agencies, all foreign embassies in Nigeria, placing me in bad light and requesting foreign embassies in Nigeria not to allow me entry into their countries, not to allow me go on official assignment, not to allow me go even on holidays. They took this petition to all of the foreign agencies. Mr. Speaker, this is sad. If beyond local politics, someone will get out of his way to take a petition only to tarnish my image, my innocent image, to foreign embassies. Mr. Speaker, you can all understand from the disposition I was coming from. It was so boggart, it was so bored, and I was also touched. So in my own understanding, Mr. Speaker, and of course, as someone who has the experience of communication, I want to say without overemphasis that I am a graduate of mass communications with a first-class degree, and I also have a master's degree in public relations. And with this background, Nigerian people and my colleagues here should know I can have my own way, strategy, or approach to send signals. And it was for this reason, Mr. Speaker, when I had the opportunity to travel to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, only last week, I sent some signals. When I now got this opportunity to travel to United Kingdom, in London, of course, I was in London not for the first time. I have been in London for over 10, 15 times. I can remember only last 2 years I was in London with His Excellency, the former Deputy Speaker. I was in London with him. I can also remember 2, 3 years back, I was also in London, and I jammed my former Deputy Speaker, Rabiu Konkoso, I met with him in London airport, he saw me. But this one became special, Mr. Speaker, because I had to give it back to my detractors. I wanted to do it in such a sarcastic way to let them know, oh, here is Ado Dogwa in London. Here is Ado Dogwa who has succeeded in beating down his detractors, no matter how high they would want to beat. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say without any fear of contradiction, that out of moral conviction and out of attempt to actually defend the integrity of myself and this institution, and also the integrity of my family, I have decided to take this matter to court for this attempt, even for the attempt, mere attempt to indict or to malign my name in the face of the world. This is something that is unacceptable. I know those who are behind it. I have their names. Some of them are lawyers, and I will take them up with the relevant agencies of lawyers that are in charge of discipline on property.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú ó jọ má bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò má rárá.
You get? So, Adodogua, that was him telling us or explaining to us why he had to embark on that trip. And of course, he's right. They removed his name because the people he hired said, no, he didn't hire them. No, he didn't. He was not the one who sent them. So if those one says, no, he didn't send them, they just did it on their own. They just felt like they should kill 24 people and burn them with the, they killed 24 people inside the same house. Like put their body in the same house and they burned down the building. It wasn't just that they killed them, they burned them. So yeah, there's no court that has convicted him of any of that crime. So he could go anywhere, brag that, do this, and tell you about his different chieftaincy titles. The rogues. It's a bit similar to the exchanges between Rotifmi Amechi and the transistor senator, Shehu Sani, was also captured in this clip. Labart, thank you, Baba. Thanks for your super chat, by the way. So, indeed, you can support Maiyegun's Diary political platform by using any of those links, whether PayPal, what's the other one again? Buy me a coffee. Right? I'll share that with you very soon. And I've also been forever trying to raise a grant, and it's been stuck in a place. I've got a GoFundMe as well. So you can use that, any of them. So every one of these is pretty much appreciated. Right? Now check the comments. And at the same time, share with Sonny and Rotifmi Amechi.
Amechi was here talking about Tinubu, talking about Nigerians. He was one of those who was so blessed by Nigeria. In every sense of the word. Many of you here have, in your family, you have never had a counselor. And then one man was a speaker for 8 years, governor for 8 years, minister for 8 years. How blessed can a man be? And then 2 years after power, he has seen the fault of the country. If you can attack the government, can attack the system, you have that innocence and that stainless history of never being in government. You have the right. You have never been a councillor, you have never been a local government chairman, you have never been anything. You are just a Nigerian at the receiving end of the failure of governance. You have the right to speak. But if you can sit down here and say we should not look at the messenger and only the message. And you know that one day Tinubu will be out of power and he will stand before you here and talk about the ills of the country. And you should not talk of the masses. When people have position of authority and power and they fail to deliver, their communication with the masses and the people should be that of public apology. On that note, under the second standard,
for being patient with us.
No, I would have loved to be here for a long time. But unfortunately, I have a 4 o'clock meeting with one of the very important Nigerians. If you knew that you will not finish, I came here at 12. If I knew you won't finish at 3, I would have wanted a 5 o'clock meeting. Why do I want that? I realized that 2 days ago, I spoke in a national summit on electoral reform. By the time I left, Senator Shehu Sani had abused me. I wish I were there, I would have abused him back. I know him very well, so you can't say things that I know what he knows that most of you don't know. I'd like to use the opportunity to let him know that he shouldn't try it again because I will expose him in public. And I'm not joking. The second one was another electoral reform summit. Robert Azibola, again, because I left, said there was a meeting in America. There was no meeting in America. There was absolutely no meeting in America. There was just one meeting, and we were invited to meet at the house of the Consul General of the American Embassy, the opposition. And I've said what the discussion was about. The discussion was from America. Look, we don't want violence in this election. Opposition assures that there will be no violence. Then to government, don't rig election. That was all. Nobody went there to talk about Christian religion or Muslim religion. But anyway, that's not part of why we are here. If there is somebody who is confused amongst you, I am. I'm extremely confused.
So anyway, Amechi has sent a signal to Dogua. So he sent a signal to the transistor senator, all right? Or transistor radio senator, rather. So Shehu Sani, or you can easily say Afro senator. People call him that too. That he should be careful because I know him and I know what he knows. If he try that again, I am going to. Right. So Peter Obi was in Ibadan yesterday. And he was a guest speaker. Oh, hang on. Sorry, give me a sec. Right. So what happened is that our Facebook has been terminated. So we just have to keep on with the YouTube. Right. So Obi was in Ibadan as a guest of the Editors Guild. It's like the body of the newspaper editors or the other kind of like a publishing editors and all that. So they were talking about the state of Nigeria, including the recent threat from Donald Trump concerning the terrorists operating in that contraption. So Obi's own message was to address the state of the country under Tinubu and APC. That prompted the country like the United States President Donald Trump to call Nigeria a now disgraced country. Is Nigeria a now disgraced country? From Obi's point of view, please watch this.
The budget of that place is about 10% of the budget of National Assembly Clinic. It's the number one hospital. If you look at the 2024 budget, the National Assembly Clinic has about 15 billion. Your 6 biggest teaching hospitals, Ibadan, University of Ibadan, Soka, University of Lagos, University of Maiduguri, Ilorin and Jos put together is not up to that. Yes, bus station in the 6 geopolitical zone for 142 billion when you don't have a primary health care in all those regions, that is 60% is unfunctional. Mothers can go to hospital and give birth and they are alive. And we are building bus station. Which bus? Is it government upon work of government to build bus stations? So we can go on and on, but my dear people, I wish you people well in your discussion. But please, know that we have a content. We need to deal with this country. We need to ask a question like where is the savings of the subsidy? Where are the gains of it? Where is it impacting? Despite the fact that we remove subsidy, we borrowed more money. And all this borrowing, like I asked a few days ago, and they said I'm not advising the young ones very well. Go and check the Euro bonds we're issuing now. They are 1948, 1949, 1951, 1952. I'm definitely sure people like me will not be there. It's our children that will pay it. And so what are we investing that they will use to pay it when they mature? Nothing. Because we are eating that money. This is time for everybody to learn. Finally, please, we are in a democratic dispensation. You have to learn the voice of opposition. I'm happy, I must thank you people for inviting us. Because we were never invited. So it is the first time, so I must thank you people for your opposition. Even say hello. I was surprised when I saw the invitation. I said, opposition invited. Maybe. But when they told me where you were doing the opening, I said, I won't go there. But they said there's another place. I can tell you what I'm talking about. I said, I won't go there because now that they brought it to where people like us can come, we come. But I can tell you, this is how it's done everywhere in the world. You must help that the opposition be heard. You must help us to start solving issues, having strong opposition, strong institutions, so that people can seek out. Nobody wants, PWP is not desperate to be president of Nigeria. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work for my children. I'm lucky where I am today. My children are not that lucky. So we must stop this abuse of our country. And all of us, I need. Those who are in office today are not going to be in office forever. People have passed through them. They're even going to die. So why don't we build a better place for our children? Why are we destroying the place our children are going to live in? For a country that God blesses everything, gave every opportunity. So help the opposition, help the voice, help the parties. I recall what Yar'Adua always said every day. There is no respect. Yar'Adua told the INEC chairman in front of me, he said, I want all parties to work. I don't like all these things that we say parties have problems. Now we have situations where people are happy that other parties are having problems. How can you be happy that other people are not well? In a system where everybody is supposed to be well. My dear people, let us find their due. It will take his revenge on our children. God bless you.
Thank you so much for that. Please your indulgence to hold on for a second or two because we'd like to take one or two questions, if you don't mind. So if you have a question, we'll just take one or two questions quickly before we go on to our first major paper of the day. Okay. You see, I am a lady, and never mind those who say that there are no ladies in journalism. I insist that there are ladies in journalism. So we're going to balance this. One lady and one gentleman. Okay? Presido, I think you better make a choice here. I don't want to be biased. Okay. I want a lady to ask the question first.
The lady that wants it more, stand up.
We'll get to that part. So that was Obidie still like pointing out the infiltration of the opposition party, things that makes Nigeria, of course, almost a failed country. Not like that. Didn't say it that way, right? So they were asking him questions as well, especially about their 2027, right? So his position, That's the part we're going to get to now before we wrap it up. Here.
Whether you feel let down by the media, because I feel that the media has given you quite a lot of support. Do you feel that we're doing a fair, are we providing fair coverage now of both the government and the opposition? Because you seem to be hinting that we're not quite hitting the mark.
Let's take the second one. The man, where's the man? Egere, come. Want to read more? Thank you.
Okay. So it's about the removal of the subsidies. The president got praises from the World Bank and the IMF. They said they see that as a very good economic position. What is their take on that specific answer?
No problem. I will extend it on what you said.
More explanation on that, please.
I think I will give you more explanation. Let me start with him. My dear sister, I'm assure everybody, if there's one person who has benefited from the media, I'll count myself as one. Just like I keep telling you that there's one man who has benefited from the Nigerian judiciary, I'll count myself as one. I went to court when I was impeached. I went to court after my election without the 5 judges. They gave judgment in my favor. I went to court of appeal without meeting the judges. They gave judgment in my favor. I was removed and I went to Supreme Court for interpretation without knowing one Supreme Court judge, meeting them. Nobody can get that in Nigeria today. Let's be realistic. If it was today, in fact, they might even find me for coming to court. Without seeing them, I would have gone. So the same thing. I look at some wonderful people here who have done good, been fantastic journalists without even asking anybody for anything. People are reading every day. They're all over here. People who have written for nothing. And they do it with their cases. But I'm also urging you people, the ones coming after you are not doing the same thing. Let's be realistic. There's a time we had people who wrote from their minds. The younger ones are not writing like that. I'm appealing to the older ones. You need to, because it's beginning to change gradually where it's now turned into the same thing we are seeing in the judiciary everywhere. So it is important that we start reversing because it's critical. I'm not looking for people to write what will please Peter Obi. Just write for the country. Write for the future of our children. That makes all the difference and everything. Thank you. And further explanation on the issue which I said of subsidy. If you take the statement of removal of subsidy, he said, we will not, for us to stop borrowing, and the use of the subsidy to be invested in turning around the economy. In fact, after some few months, they were announcing the gains of the subsidy. Just the gains of unification. But I can tell you, even this year, we have overborrowed our target by almost 70% this year alone. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with borrowing. Any damage, we want to emulate high debt. America is 124% of their GDP in debt. China is almost about 80% now. Any other country. Indonesia, everything has been. They were borrowed. But where is it being utilized? Where is the investment? What is happening to it? That is the critical thing that we need to do. Those savings, where is those savings? Why is it not impacting on our critical area of development, education, health, and pulling people out of poverty? Why is it not impacting? Because those savings and those borrowings, if they are managed properly, you will see a difference. This is a country people used to come, medical tourism to Ibadan, to everyone. Nobody comes here. I just gave you an example of a clinic, of a hospital that you can attend to here in Abuja. And I can go on and tell you what I
No, no, you can. Man, I don't know. I'm having like a sore throat. Crazy. You know, he's right. Tinubu has scammed you, unfortunately. However, you know, sorry, one sec. Yeah, I was like, so Tinubu has scammed you. Right now, most of their fake statistics that they have been releasing, right? It's almost around the time that the Kasla will bust. So they said that your foreign reserve has increased, right? Not by giving you the specifics of what where they made the money from that increased your foreign reserve. However, your borrowing has skyrocketed. You are not supposed to be borrowing this much, according to them, when they removed your subsidy, which changed everything, right? They have borrowed so much. Then they lied to you that Tinubu has paid back some of the loans. Therefore, he is now using, according to them, 60% or 65% of your revenue to service debt from 90%. But today, the truth has come out, because it's now obvious that with the local borrowing that they told you that they have not been borrowing, they just got another 1 point something trillion naira. So to say, now that has now, plus the other borrowings, they have not told you the state of things, right? So they have now succeeded in pushing back Nigeria's revenue to loans. Now is at the ratio of 98% and 2%. So 98% means your revenue, 90% of your revenue will now go to servicing debt. But they are still cooking the books, telling you that your economy don't turn corner. Turn corner to where? Maiyegun. It's body that will tell everybody. That's one thing, right? So thank you very much. And with all of us currently on right now, we will take calls, okay? Even if it's just going to be like a 2, 3, 4 calls, right? Yeah, we can. But however, if you really need to go, remember, just make sure that you like the broadcast, okay? Before you go, like it. Okay, so that will kind of like get you into it. So you have an idea of, one after the other kind of topic, right? Then like the broadcast. That's to show that you are here. Do that first before you get settled. Hear it as well, to invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them to join us. Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. So we are continuing from where we stopped yesterday. And that is also from like where we sort of like started about 2 days ago, when the video of Wike's encounter with that lieutenant naval officer called Yerima. And to those of you who have been following the story normally, right, it will probably have been counted as one of those horrible things created by people who have no respect for their own laws, right? However, it seems to have been like breeding something more, also about the animosity that majority of them actually harbor for themselves inside this illegitimate regime of Kolu. So Wike is considered as a black sheep in their midst, is an instrument being used to continue to decimate and then destroy his own political party. It's got nowhere to go to. However, he's living off the assurance and the insurance of Tiknumbu, something some people are beginning to feel uncomfortable with. Maybe not now. Maybe it didn't start now. However, it's beginning to rear its head, where some are already calling for the removal of Wike. If they are already filing that as part of their conditions, especially from northern Nigeria to start with. Right? So after that encounter with that officer, from what we gathered, the likes of Minister of Defense, his own Minister of State for Defense, they've both frowned at this, including other service chiefs as well. The current CDS. Though Wike granted an interview yesterday, and like Wike, we've not really seen like that for a very long time. It seemed to have been a little bit tamed based on God knows who probably spoke to him that made him to go and grant that a press statement. Even though in his statement, he said he respects all these institutions and he was just carrying out his job, and he felt disrespected when government officials were assaulted. No record of anybody had been assaulted, all right? Wike is that bully that met another bigger bully. And in this instance, he's now kind of like crying for help. So in his press statement yesterday, Wike said people were complaining that he called the officer a fool. You are a fool. You are a fool. So the other ranking officers felt slighted because they were waiting for what would happen to Wike. Others are asking him to go and apologize. Why Wike was like, no apologizing. And if you are threatening me with this job, if you think it's about this appointment, right? Well, it can be taken like this. Chief Nobu should take it, but not like directly that way. Okay. So Wike has crossed the line. That's what Yorubas said. This time around, the signal that Wike sent, if this is allowed to pass, the message Wike is sending to Nigerians is that nobody gives a damn about the military or the uniform. It didn't matter. It doesn't really matter whether the officer is a young man, old man. It doesn't matter. Once they are in that uniform, you as a public official yourself should respect that. So the military officers themselves, who also saw that video, from what I gathered though, they themselves are now waiting for what their own senior chiefs would do. For instance, if the politicians will pressure them to punish the officer, then they will kind of like, lose interest or pass a vote of no confidence on their own leadership, which can also trigger mutiny. At the same time, Wike and co also want to prove to everybody that it doesn't matter how they feel, they are not above the law. This is democracy. This is not military government. In this back and forth, behind the scene, those who seem to be really upset are quite really powerful too in this whole scheme. So to Irabo, right, using the opportunity of his own invitation to a program, I think yesterday, so Irabo was like, Wike was wrong. And his reasons are stated in what we are going to use as the opening tonight. While the rest of what Wike actually said will also be shared. Also other people's reactions and other stories too. So sit back, relax. Let's get started. So the first is Irabo.
Now, what is it? The uniform is not about who is wearing it. The uniform represents the authority of the state. Whether it's a small boy or not, it is the authority of the state. It's even worse when it is a commission officer who has a presidential commission. And so when you make such disparaging comments, you have desecrated the oath. You have desecrated the oath. What you have told the commander-in-chief and the authority that invested that position on him is that they are fools. So it is wrong. And I think that for the media, it is not about, in any case, law has two ends. For those, we also studied law. I'm not learned, but then in military law, we also taught that for you to be able to establish a crime, there are two elements: actus reus and mens rea. Actus reus, meaning that was this thing done? Is there something that was done? And then the mens rea, what is the intention behind it? So when a son says that the minister has authority over land and it's not the duty of a soldier, that is not the issue. Now, if you have any reason to believe that what the young man is doing, there is a channel. That's the rule of law. So you desecrating the oath, it has not. So this is what you, the media, must try to highlight. I know that over the years, we have lost our educational traction. Civics that ought to be taught, these are things that primary school pupils, secondary school pupils ought to know, that even adults don't know anymore. The whole essence of contracts, all right, the compact that you have with the state, that every individual has ceded his rights to the state, it's because of things like this. So that we will not, at April 29, take laws into our hand. It is not a jungle. So if the state has, designated certain establishment and they get them a uniform for you to be able to easily recognize them. Because today now, am I the CDS? I'm not CDS. Look at what I'm wearing. But assuming I was wearing uniform today, it's a different matter entirely. The officer that's in question, if you see him tomorrow wearing uniform, you wearing mufti, you will not see him. So what distinguishes the police, the military, and other agencies is the uniform. And so we should respect and honor the uniform. And that's what we should tell our children. That every Nigerian, when you see them, are they doing what is right? They may not be doing what is right. But then it is not your duty to now lay your hands on them. So otherwise, we're in a jungle. That's exactly what's happening. That counterterrorism has become a ding-dong thing. If you go to social media, nobody knows what is right and what is wrong. What was done with good intention is misinterpreted because of sins like that. And that's why I thought that since we're talking about media, terrorism, and national security, addressing the complexities, this is a part and parcel of the complexities that will give a wrong impression to those. Tomorrow, people will now think that when you see a military man, you should slap him. It's a jungle. Even police, why will you do that to a policeman? Me, as a general, I can't slap my soldier. I can't touch him. I can't use my hand on him. If I do that, either I apologize to him or I will be disciplined. The same thing across the world. Don't you see, even when police is brutalizing a citizen in US, trying to strangle, other people around, do they go to hole? No. Because they respect the uniform. But is he misusing the uniform? Yes. Will he be dead to it? Yes. So let us get the distinction. I thought that it would be a good opportunity to see. So as I conclude, what I need us to take away is that we were reminded yesterday that as editors of the media, we are the last man standing. But then, because we are dealing with national security issues, you as last man standing, you do not have the sword to protect you. So if the first man, the second man, and third man are all dead, what becomes of you? So no.
It's a jungle, isn't it? So he says something about if this is allowed to continue, right? So Nigeria is just going to be like a jungle. If we have to use that word, right? Is Nigeria not like a jungle already? Or is Nigeria not a jungle already? We have countless videos, number of videos on the internet to show to us that a broken system being operated in Nigeria today, like the one you currently experiencing, is like when government, supposed government, they're giving guns to known criminals by putting uniforms on them. We have seen soldiers beat up a policeman on the street, of course. We have seen policemen brutalize the citizens, like, you know. And of course, people actually respect the uniform. I mean, it takes a lot for people to actually really attack the police or the soldiers. Because in Nigeria, right, if you touch a soldier, this same person that is that just spoke there, right, and he's in the office, if you touch one soldier in your area, even the innocent in your area will pay. They will become so lawless, brutalize everybody, do all the evil things that, you know, ordinarily, you know, by law, they should end up in jail themselves. And the civilians will say, now, Nakosa, why did you go and beat a soldier? Why did you go and touch a soldier? So we do, but the only thing is that the criminal politicians, as well as the rotten elites in Nigeria, who always love to exhume this ego, power drunk, and flex, you know, other stuff. There are those who have the audacity to slap a policeman, slap a soldier, right? Like Wike attempted, but he didn't. He called him a fool. So era ball shouldn't worry about us. They should worry more about themselves, the elite, as well as the people they gave gun to, called soldiers. Because their job, if all of us are being honest, like constitutionally, their job is to protect you and I, protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria. That's their job. If any politician or any government begins to compromise that, it is also the duty of these soldiers as trained to topple such governments, because what they are doing is now in contrast to the mandate of the soldiers. Like what you have today, you can easily tell your military is broken. Territorial integrity of Nigeria has been invaded. So there is nothing sacred or sovereign about Nigeria in this sense. Nigeria military has failed Nigeria and Nigerians. That one is on record. We have more soldiers guiding the properties of politicians and elites. We have more soldiers doing that than soldiers fighting terrorists in Nigeria. You have more policemen providing private guard or security for the big men, the elite, the politicians, extended to their own family members as well, than the numbers of policemen available to curb crimes in the society. So that is the society they have. So you shouldn't worry about us. It's about them. The elite who have the opportunity to run a country that should be in the interest of every one of us, but they bungled it. They looted the whole place, mismanaged it enough that right now it is from one problem to the other. So yeah, politicians, I won't even be so rich enough to want to have an encounter with a soldier, like I said. But Wike is also a minister. So for those of you who believes that Wike is right, no, you are wrong. It's not right. And then to those who believes that the young soldier who had this encounter, let's even leave the young soldier now, like he's following an order. Somebody direct ordered them to be there. So who ordered them? Their own senior colleagues who are also members of the elite club of Nigeria, the ruling class. So they pulled these soldiers, right, and mounted them as a private guard against the supposed authority of the city, who they also believe that the guy in charge of this authority is abusing the same power. And if nobody is going to stop him, right, then it will just have to be legality versus illegality. This is what is playing out here. And I don't really want to go into details anymore, because if you have been following this story, a soldier, a retired naval officer or senior naval officer, retired, bought land in Abuja and started developing the land. Wike said he didn't give them the approval. And they are telling Wike that they've got all the approvals. except the one you refuse to issue. Now that you are interested in the land, you want to steal the land. All the nonsense you have been doing all over Abuja and all of that with your media and all of that, you're pulling out. You won't put that stunt here. Okay? We won't let you demolish our property and then go to court and begin to chase you. No, we won't do that. So it is like, we believe that you are not following the law properly. Rather, you are manipulating it to your own advantage. So I won't let you do that. So this is the confrontation, illegality versus illegality. However, the soldier received a very much clarified order to go and stay in that place because it is Nigeria. They could put them from their barracks and say they should go and provide security for the wife of the general. Yeah. They provide security for wife of generals, their children, and all of that stuff, Soldiers will be mounted, they'll be opening doors, they'll be like guiding gates, guiding buildings, and all of that. Buildings and houses that some of these politicians even barely visit. They still have soldiers there, guiding them for them. It's privilege, they call it. It's privilege of being an elite in that contraption. So the soldier was called in there. So a lawful order was given to him. Where Wike shouldn't be there physically. That's where he's wrong. You get me now? Even with all the abracadabra land grabbing he's doing, like he shouldn't even be there physically. But because Wike is also a thug. Yeah, he is. So to him, right, he believes that his presence actually really probably scares people. I don't know. Because he is not an enforcer. He's a minister. There are many people under that his office whose job is to deal with situation like that. Yeah. Because Wike is a government as well, right? The people who is kind of dragging with are also pulling the levers of power. So that's where Wike was wrong. The fact that, according to the report, right, Wike asked the current CDS, okay, that so thing was going on. And they would want him to intervene. And that one said, okay, yeah, I worked on it. Just hang on, I worked on it. Wike waited for maybe half an hour. He didn't get any response from the CDS. What did he do? He jumped straight into his convoy. If you see that convoy, by the way, Wike's convoy be like presidential convoy. It's got dispatch riders. Yeah, 4 bikes, like 4 bike men, dispatch riders doing wow in front of him. Then the convoy. But that didn't kind of like intimidated the soldier, right? So Wike, part of his own media sort of like chat, media press, whatever, yesterday, right, was that some people are trying to possibly get rid of him simply because he is doing a stellar job. He's doing a wonderful job. And some people feels like they are too powerful to follow the law. In as much as he's concluded his standoff with those guys from that site, he's already moved all his equipment and demolition stuff and all that. They've left the place, right? But to Wike, if this is going to be the game, well, it would be willing to, I don't know if you probably will, right? But he said, I would continue to step on people's toes. People like these military guys. So I've got here, part of that, this is not what we've shared on the platform yet, right? So this is part of his chart yesterday, defending his action, feeling remorseful, but at the same time, snapping out of it like, no, like therein as well. All of that in this clip. Please watch.
So don't go there because you were former this, you were former that. Nobody does that. So those who are writing, who are talking jokes, go and find out what really happened. Some people say, I said the boy is a fool. And what I meant was this. You cannot be carrying out an illegal order. That's what I meant. I didn't say military fool. I couldn't have said that. I couldn't have. I know the role of the military. The role they have been playing in this country. What they have passed through in fighting insurgents and terrorists. There's nobody. And I've always given my support to security agencies. As I came as FCT minister, go and see their security minister. Go and see what I provided for them to fight and do their work. So if I know that, why would I say that it's not true? But you, what you're doing, you're not doing what you're taught as an officer. The mere fact you're an officer does not mean that if you do what is wrong. It's like a professor in the university who will not allow young girls to rest, or will not allow people every time bring money for this and that. Then when I say that professor, I'll tell that professor, you're not supposed to be a professor at all. Even those who tell you a professor, the question, how did they give you? Because you are carrying out something that's not expected of you. Not expected of you. So I hope you will report us well. You won't go and cut off what part of what I said. I enjoyed it on another old listen. Because that's what you will do now. Tell your bosses to go and read and do what they call it investigative journalism. Part of the legal function, taxpayers' money, protecting slaves. It has come to that level now. If you're a former military officer, they attach security to you. It's to protect your life, to follow you. It's not to go and do illegal job now. If you have a problem with government, you write to government and say, look, see. Government will have to, okay, this man has some division now. What do we do? How do we resolve the matter? You give that respect. But not to intimidate government officials. Or intimidate me as a minister. I will not do that kind of thing. I will not do it. If it is this position, take it. But I would want to thank and respect and follow Mr. President for even considering me fit and want to do this job. And I know, if I'm living here today, I'm going with my shoulders high. But I've done what I'm supposed to do. I'm not a very minister. No, I'm not. I am not a minister who doesn't know his onions. I'm not. I do. I'm well grounded to know what is good, what is not good. I'm well grounded to know my left and my right. I'm not here to make everybody happy. And nobody can make everybody happy. Even in your houses, you cannot make everybody happy. Even your children, you can't satisfy everybody. You take the decision, it will not be palatable with your person. But you have to take a decision. That's leadership. If you like, pay journalists money, let them appear on channels. Pay them money, let them write on the newspapers. These are not people I listen to. Those are wounded politically. I will continue to wound you. That injury will still be there. So anytime you wake up, you see the political injury against you, you know it's me. I have no regret to. I will continue to be. I have no regret that I supported President Tinubu. I have no regret. Because I know that he possessed the leadership to turn around this country. And because I'm not from a particular place, therefore, I cannot do my work. No. All of us, this country, belongs to all of us. All of us. If you do the right thing, every day, Abuja is changing. They've started our Abuja master plan. And people are now saying, okay, we have to stop this the starting of Abuja plan, master plan. Yeah. So, the press, even if you are paid, also have conscience. This story I'm carrying, Is it true? No investigative journalism. Nobody does that again. Nobody reads. Go and find out what is the situation. What happened? Before you come and feed lies to members of the public. Go and ask what happened. What are the facts? Stop this because you have a platform. You talk anyhow. You talk anyhow. I'm not this kind of person that, if you like, carry from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. Waste your time, discuss about weekend. Yeah, waste your time. Because I won't even bother myself. I thought my conscience is clear that I'm doing the right thing. I will do it. If it will cost me my job, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm happy if I'm living that I did the right thing. It's okay. Did I perform? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Will you still remember me? Yes. Yes. I will continue to step on toes. Well, people have given them notice of 2 weeks. Is it not correct? President appealed. We should extend. We extended. We extended. We extended. We extended. To almost going to 1 year now. Tomorrow, now, when you want to inform now, they will go and bring bill. Is that the way we continue to run to continue to behave? Now you won't go and pay. By the time the authority go and enforce now.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
I know it can be boring, right? With a wicked or annoying. Well, the thing is this: whatever pressure they are putting him on, or whatever pressure he feels he's on, is actually like he put that on himself. If you ask me, there's so many people that want to see Wike destroyed. Sometimes I kind of feel like why? Right? Because it's just got that personality that if you want to understand, and I actually think I do know why. I can give you some instances why a lot of people genuinely not destroyed like that, right? But they want him to actually face justice in this, this life. Here you get. So that is why most of the time it may seem that a lot of people are looking for news about him, So when you look at those who are in PDP, I'm not saying all of them, here you get. But when you see those who are in PDP that want to see him destroyed because of what he did to their party, they blame him. When you see the survivors of Obigbo massacre that Wike coordinated, where hundreds of people were slaughtered in their homes when he declared almost 2 weeks curfew. Who does that? Wike declared 2 weeks curfew after NSAS killings, right? And then the NSAS came to an end. But the killings didn't stop there. In Rivers State, there's a local government called Obigbo, right? Where Wike personally invited the military to this part and told them that they were IPOB members who were behind NSAS at the time. So what did the military do under Bokwari? They moved in. They moved in combat style, courtesy of Wike. And Wike as a governor, declared an endless curfew. People couldn't go out. They couldn't go to work. They couldn't, resupply their own needs in the house, like restock. They were stocking their houses and the soldiers were going from house to house. They were dragging people out, executing them. Many people are still missing till today. So those ones would love to see him face justice eventually, right? And then maybe others who witnessed the barbarism that took place in Rivers State in 2023 elections. Wike went over and above but in order to ensure that he secured a place in Tinubu's regime. So that too, are those who are waiting for the come out that. And then the current ongoing land grabbing in Abuja. These guys that said, implementing government policy of Abuja master plan. All of them have always been like executing Abuja master plan. Meanwhile, it's actually a disguise for land grabbing. So those victims, retirees who lost their homes, and they were not given the chance to actually, keep their homes, because the intention is not for them to keep the homes. They want them out, and they've chased thousands of them away. They've become homeless. So, yeah, that's some good reasons why a lot of people feel like we're Wike's end will be televised. But it keeps explaining.
Now, comments on the man I described yesterday as Yomonile.
Right, I'm actually going to let you listen to Abati. That's Abati, commenting on the same matter.
Now, comments on the man I described yesterday as Yomonile of the Federal Capital Territory, who thoroughly embarrassed the President of Nigeria while pretending to be exercising delegated authority. This morning, I've also said he comes across as APC's political bouncer in the People's Democratic Party. Hence, he's trying to impose himself on that party to serve the purpose of a fifth columnist within the People's Democratic Party. So that ties the two subjects together. However, he was on television characteristically yesterday, paid, adverts for himself, in which he was saying that he respects the rule of law. Now, I don't think that is true. If the minister respects the rule of law, he cannot be selective in terms of the rule of law that he respects. When he was governor in Rivers State, did he respect the rule of law? In his attempt to say, as he insisted yesterday, that he wants to preserve the integrity of the Abuja master plan, going to pull down people's buildings, going to attack estates, is that respect for the rule of law for a man that is an officer in the Temple of Justice as a legal practitioner? Now, this same man says he's respecting the rule of law. Why is it that a person who says he respects the rule of law will be selective in his respect for the rule of law? There are many court judgments regarding to this Abuja master plan. The minister of the Federal Capital Territory chooses the kind of law that he wants to respect, the one that he doesn't want to respect. That in itself is an abominable, unacceptable behavior. That's number one. So he's saying he respects the rule of law. That's a lie. Number two, he said that he has no problem with the military and that he respects the military because he knows what the military is doing, and that if he has any problem with the military, he knows where to go, but he doesn't believe in confrontation. Nyesom Wike saying that he does not believe in confrontation. He even confronts journalists. Yes. Not realizing that you don't fight a man or people who have platforms. You will lose in the long run. So disrespecting the media, the military establishment, confronting the military establishment, that's precisely what he did. And by so doing, I insist, I repeat, that he exposed the president, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, to utter embarrassment. And that is something that I think that the president of Nigeria should still address, one way or the other. And it is as follows. He says, okay, he respects the military, he doesn't disrespect any institution. This is after it was reported yesterday on the front page of a Punch newspaper that the generals are fuming. There is no general that is supporting Nyesom Wike. They are all supporting Officer Yerima. They say he's disciplined, they said he was polite, they said he showed professionalism. The CDS is behind him. Minister Matawale has spoken also in his defense and in defense of the military. The Minister of Defense, Minister Badaru, has also spoken in defense of the military. The Inspector General of Police has told his men that, look, nobody should go and use you to pull down other person's buildings in Abuja without a court order. In other words, the Inspector General of Police is also saying that what Minister Wike did was unlawful, was a resort to self-help, and law enforcement officers wearing the police uniform should not do that. So Minister Wike says he respects the rule of law. So he's the only one who is redefining, recharacterizing, positioning his conduct. I think that the time has come for the president of Nigeria to call him to order.
Yes.
To say that there is something about decorum in terms of the behavior of public officers. He could have used a court order.
Yes.
If there are court orders, he could have respected those court orders. And whether the land was in the possession of a former chief of air staff or naval staff or whatever, nobody is above the laws of the land. And no minister has the powers to intimidate everybody. He says he doesn't like intimidation, that nobody can intimidate a government. All of us exist under the rule of law. And by conduct, ministers who have been given the opportunity to serve by President President Tinubu must also conduct themselves in a decorous manner. No minister has the powers to come and dictate to everybody. You dictate to the media, you dictate to the military.
He'll be telling you the questions to
on
ask
the basis
in
of
his
what?
media chats. He'll be telling you questions to ask.
But don't vex. Yeah. Again, everybody is kind of like a questioning with a Wike's character here. That's the point. Okay? So in what is called the rule of law, it can be a little bit like slow to your liking. But at the same time, your job is to protect it. And you are meant to wear it like a virtue as a government official. That you can't abruptly just take things into your own hands because you can. Because he did that when he was governor. He didn't give a damn. Who's that? If you don't agree with Wike, get out of here. Sort of. Because according to him, yeah, he said he's human. He's got feelings. That people shouldn't expect him not to actually like react as a human. That's Wike.
Yes. Me, I'm a minister, but representing Mr. President. That alone should have given you that decorum. No. You choose to challenge the minister, the president. And then you think that I'm not a human being, I have no emotions. You are carrying out an illegal job. When people say order, do you need to carry out an illegal order? When you are an officer, you are doing something that's illegal. Even if it's a legal order given to you, but that function you are doing is illegal. Police was built here under high tension. Police, even as an institution, not private. They arrested our officers. I said, wow, I went there by myself. Look at high tension. Even if they are worsening me, you must encourage that. And I said, no, you can't continue to do it. It's not good. And I educate, and I look at the documents. He said, you didn't know. Then you obey it. An institution, not as private individual. Nobody will respect you. Nobody will do anything. Even when you take action, I'm aware I'm coming here as a minister, people were opposed to it. But I'm here. And I never one day knew that I was a minister of FCT. I was a minister before. But I never knew I was a minister of FCT. I would do my job without looking at anybody's face. I will not go. You do this. You were here when ASU went to Senate. ASU said part of their conditions of going on strike that they should tell the minister to leave the University of Abuja land. I have not been seeing the Navy on national television They should tell the minister to leave their land and have not received the nation. Carrying like, what have I done? See, this is the country you are in. And what was the problem? How can a university say they have 11,000 hectares of land? The whole of Lagos is 7,000. When the Minister of Education called me, I said, my brother, you tell me, we are checking the whole of Lagos is 7 hectares. He found that Lagos is only about 300 something hectares. I said, 11,000. He said, yes.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
That's all you needed to know. According to him, he represents Tifnumbu, which is true. Everything he's doing is approved by Tifnumbu. We are going to, we're going to come to that. But his last statement of Abuja land, this is what you needed to kind of know to have the full context of the whole thing. So let me explain. When they were planning Abuja as the federal capital of Nigeria, right? The people of Abuja were told that this particular space of land now becomes as the federal capital territory, it comes under the control of the federal government of Nigeria. So they started allocating lands where they went to build the government house, Aso Rock, where they needed to build the National Assembly, where they needed to build the Supreme Court, to build the High Court, to build this. Here you get, including where to build a school. Do you know what they had a plan for Abuja University? If this were a Wike, is not the known Equere land grabber. That's what they call him, Wike. They know they take I see land. It is for the land to become theirs, somebody like him. So the plan they had for Abuja was Abuja University, right? Was to call it the Abuja University, kind of like a city. It was meant to be like a different kind of like a town on its own, where you have not just the school, you have like a staff buildings, including other buildings that will form. It's going to be like its own city. That's the plan, because their plan was that Abuja, as the federal capital, will be the center for the entire country. So everybody from Nigeria, all over the country, you should be able to have a space in Abuja. Not like you should have a land. No. Having a space means if they say, oh, this is a university city, so to say, right? This is like, then you know that everything you're going to find in other places in the Abuja city, you're going to have it there. It's like a different town on its own. You know what I mean? Like people who have their own houses there, whether it is built by the school authority or the government, doesn't matter. So it's like a futuristic idea where every state in Nigeria will actually have a space in what is called the University of Abuja. It's not like your other regular universities as they kind of like amass all the lands, right? No, it's different. This is like a place to host all of you as Nigerians. That's the symbol of that place. But when the Wike came and he felt so alarmed. Why would they give Abuja University 11,000 hectares of land? He just lost his cool. You know what he did? Presently, the university land, they said they haven't even like used more than maybe 3 acres of the land, hectares, right? So when the Wike now said, hey, I will give you extra 2, so we'll make it 5. And he took 6 hectares of land from it. That's more than the half of the land allocated. So to where the Wike, waiting won't take the land too, to redistribute it to their family members, their friends, associates. That's where Kolu comes in, right? This story of land grabbing, this is a famous story of land grabbing in this Etios area of Lagos State in 2003. of Lagos. Tinubu was governor. So he lied to the people of this Etiosa. When you are going to this Lekki, Epe, or this place, right? So he lied to them that they were going to build them one massive general hospital. So therefore, the government needed land. For those of you who grew up in Lagos, or you were in Lagos around this time, and the story I'm sharing right now, you probably should be able to attest to it. The history of land grabbing that is so similar to what Wike is doing in Abuja. In their own right, Tinubu as governor took this massive expanse of land from these people and he gave them no shishi. He told them this is to build them the biggest general hospital. Then 2025 came. They now realized that, no, I don't think Morocco. Somebody said it's Morocco. Morocco is a different story. The way they capture Morocco is a different story. This one is actually land that the Omonile of that era, right? They had to wage war. Ibejuleki, I think, is on this Lekki axis. That's why I used now they have built a golf course there. This place I'm telling you right now, they have built a golf course. They have built some fancy houses there that they are selling to their peers, deputy governors of Lagos State, as a building there. You get me now? So they took the land by 2005. They just saw banks erected a massive billboard on the land that they want to build something garden there. Garden Bao. They said the state government took loan and they used the land for collateral. So the bank is to recoup their money. They needed to begin to sell the land. Sell which land? This one. True story. Meanwhile, they were grooming Fashola to succeed Tinubu. So when they started the campaign of 2007 for Fashola, and this story as well, actually, right? This particular part of the story, which Fashola himself kind of like shared on Fumi Nyoda. I can't remember her program. It's kind of like they've rested the program now. You remember Fumi Nyoda? Now she had this program that she brought Fashola on, and he shared this part of the story I'm about to tell you. Because of this land issue, so they were campaigning for Fashola to be governor of Lagos State. So they got to this place. People were mad already, right? So when they realized that Tinubu and Fashola, they were in that area, like their campaigns were like, everybody was like already waiting for them. The moment they arrived, the Omonile in the area, they opened fire on everybody. Baba, they wanted to kill Tinubu and kill Fashola, despite all the security around them. Fashola said he didn't know how one of the shooters who were like shooting in the place, right? Because everybody was like running then, right? One of the shooters got closer to the governor's convoy. Tinubu and Fashola, they were seated behind, the back seat, right? And the guy opened fire at them. But they were driving in the bulletproof vehicle. Fashola thought they shot at him. They kind of like, he's dead. But Tinubu, the Don, sat there. That's how he described it. So he sat there and was like, don't worry, all right. I'm going to get you out of this place very soon. And that was his own first baptismal of fire. That things can escalate so quickly, enough that your life could be in danger in this their political game. Now back to Abuja. Wike is doing a lot of illegality. And as much as a lot of people possibly are already petitioning Tinubu, calling, using their own link, and possibly have been like ignored. And Wike continue to step on toes, as he called it. Nobody says that he shouldn't probably implement any master plan or whatever, right? What people are saying is that you should do that based on your own supposed law. You do not go ahead and cancel people's CFO because you have the power to do that. I have a land, got the CFO from your government, from the ministry, only for me to turn around a few years later because a new minister is in town and he says that document is no longer valid because he said so. and they won't even give you the room to possibly take all those documents and everything you have about the land and take it to the court, fight it out. And if you lose, right, then that's it. Government takes it. No chance, no nothing. Is the prosecutor, is the judge, and is the executioner in all of this. A Gestapo kind of style. So no matter how much he tried to explain himself out of this, right, including Kolu, yeah, he's doing an illegal thing. Here you get now. So he's doing a legal thing illegally, simply because the real motive behind all of this is not to change the face of Abuja. Because the real center and the outskirts of Abuja, where people needed the government presence, they are not getting it. You get what I mean now? But it's dissipating so much energy on this land, grab this, grab that, grab this, grab that. And there are revelations of people, there are revelations from the same government, its own ministry, right? Where people have been allocated lands in thousands of hectares. And all they did was just to brush it aside and said, is there any law that says he cannot allocate land? Of course, the law allows him to allocate land and share land. You do not have any power to question who he gives land to and why. That is part of the fault. Where the Wike is now using that to grab people's lands and redistribute the same land, committing the same crime he believes some people committed, committed before him. So he's doing the same thing because, the law says he could do that. So now, if Numbu possibly will take the badge at the end of the day, you will think, at this point, they should checkmate him, Abi. No, it's not going to happen. And there's a reason why. So somebody said that there is with the Wike's problem. Wike's problem with the Tifnumbu's regime, right? And that is, you could show me. Wike.
Take this is for your trouble. No, I can't take this money. I'm an officer of the law.
Now let's go here. What Shagushobi had to say. He called it Wike problem. Yeah, Wike problem with Tifnumbu's regime. Show me.
Meant to have. Listen to what's happening on radio, listen to what's happening on television, filter the internet and see the opinion of Nigerians. What you are going to find out is that the federal government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a Wike problem. And what is this Wike problem? An energetic, competent, goal-driven, with evidence of performance on one side, but a mismanaged, excessively irritating and garrulous aide who has no capacity to understand that you are a minister, you are representing a president. The amount of invectives you put out at people increases their ability for them to, first of all, dislike you, and then by inference begin to dislike your principal, who then makes everybody believe that you have been given the liberties to disrespect everybody in the country. You had a problem in Rivers, you were backed. People didn't like that. You seem to have issues with almost all our revered leaders in the country, whom you have no ears talking to them anyhow, speaking to them anyhow, disrespecting them. People tolerated it. You are constantly in the media, screaming, shouting, bellowing, jumping, saying it anyhow you like. People are slowly but gradually unhappy. And suddenly, you have to do a ministerial responsibility that could have been done via administrative correctness. But in your, I'm bigger than everybody, I'm very strong, and this and that, you put yourself in a situation where a junior ranking officer is now forced to hold the line before you and made yourself and the entire government you represent to become the caricature of Job. Let me advise so that they know. I once asked Chief Obasanjo one day when he had finished that, sir, how do you people control, how do you get the army and the armed forces to behave in civilian regime? Meant to.
I want to serve that Momo. don't get carried away. So we just leave the messenger. So we just take the message and leave the messenger, right? So it's not wrong. Everybody is still talking to the character of Wike, which will further bring more damages to Tifnumbu's already unpopular regime. Because Tifnumbu's regime is not popular. So you get, like, a lot of people sees it as an illegitimate government, you know, and the characters around him as well pointed to the fact that, oh yeah, Tifnumbu's baggages, right, very much relative, you know, because look at his friends, just show me your friends. So the druggie himself needs Wike, because to them, it doesn't really matter. Whether you call him illegitimate, whether you said he didn't win and he rigged, it doesn't really matter. To him, he is your president today. And there are those who made that happen. The likes of Wike. So is Wike going to be a burden or an extra baggage for Kolu? There are those who are already looking into that. Kolu has already sort of like conquered Rivers State. I do not have apologies for you if you're from Rivers State. You get where I'm coming from, Abi? So politically, it doesn't really kind of like matter anymore if Wike is still a minister or not, because with Fulbara, I don't think Kolu needs Wike that much, but they might continue to give him, give him that sense of entitlement or something to make him feel like they still need him. But it could be discarded anytime, because the threat against that, I mean, that threat itself is actually real, because Wike knows himself. There are some people who are already saying that Wike's moves will lead to the northern Nigeria or polarization of the northern Nigeria for him, for Tifnumbu, and even more difficult than it was in 2023. So a gamble that others believes that Tifnumbu will either take or not. So you can't really tell. But it's got options. Now here is a bit of a flashback of that encounter before we wrap it up on it and go to something else. Yeah, that clip.
Nobody does that.
We did not carry anybody.
The man took the line. We will not allow because he was chief of numbers and then for you to carry line.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop that?
You
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, put
I
up,
will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you keep quiet?
You
You're
can't
a
shut me
big
up, sir.
fool.
I'm not
You are a big fool.
I'm not a fool,
You think
sir.
I shoot anybody like that?
Sir, I'm not
You
a
are
fool.
the fool.
I am not a fool, sir.
As at the time I graduated, you were in primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
Take for which
You can't
order?
call me a fool.
And this, you will see whether you will not live here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go
I'm
and develop here.
an
Go and
officer.
develop
I'm not a fool, sir. I'm an officer.
You will have killed everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop here. Let me see you.
Regular officer, I won't come out.
We are going to get out.
Take this is for your trouble. No, I can't take this money. I'm an officer of the law.
So we'll leave it at that. Right? So that one there, the last clip is kind of like AI. Sure, you know now. So there are so many of that on online right now. And it's not looking good. And I think that is why, remember this lady that was with Bokuwari? Yeah, the lady that shared with us the rice pyramid in Abuja that then disappeared after the entire, show off and all that. She had okay, I'm going to share it with you so you know what I'm talking about.
Tinubu has no pathway to return in 2027. We are not saying maybe or maybe. No. He's gone.
He's gone. Thank you very much.
Tinubu is gone. Because we are democratic, we understand what democracy is. He was elected, chosen by the people, including me standing here, and shamefully too, and regrettably too. We will walk gently. We are not going to be running around kitty or fighting or doing whatever they are doing. We are not going to go with them. We will all behave like Yerima.
Yes, ma'am.
We will stand our ground respectfully, without insulting anyone. We will stand our ground, and we just march on in 2027. I think 2027. He will be gone. It's non-negotiable. He is gone already. He's gone. So, on behalf of our beloved party, and on behalf of everyone that is holding the ground in this nation, you call it grassroots, we call it holding the ground. It's a language we all need to know. President Buhari taught us you hold the ground, hold where you are. So, on behalf of all of us, and I believe all these ones, everyone here joins in that this inauguration. We inaugurate this where is the magazine?
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now.
It's unfair, I know. You know, so that's a Loretta Onoche. So those who were back in the days calling you and I wailing wailers. Remember? Those who called us enemies of Nigeria because we were screaming while APC, Egbekegbe under Boko Haram, were busy destroying that contraption, dividing it as their murderous Fulani terrorists kept advancing and advancing. They called us names. But 2 years after that office, 2 years after leaving the office, they need to save all of us now from another monster from their rank. Tifnumbu. I missed something. Yeah? But that way the Wike's matter, by the way. I thought we've closed it, but watch this, Mr. Funny.
This is not the first time we Wike bulldozer go back without doing any job. This is not the first time the bulldozer come and do work, he go back without doing that job. Wait, so we can't even prepare come. He prepare with the bulldozer to come and bulldozer everywhere. To come and scatter, as in he was prepared for, let's go and scatter. He don't get that people. So he was ready. What did he even come on that? Bulldozer everywhere. As he come, he comes with the past bulldozer. Now why we can be disappointed because he don't look in bulldozer. God is it. Wait till I go tell these people which excuse. He make call, don't get person even call. Say this bulldozer I cannot afford. We can see Kaki now as blood of the lamb. When bulldozer see Kaki, he will jump over. But tell us, don't touch this particular structure. It belongs to army. Then the first time
This is the first time where Wike bulldozer go come out make it doing job. The job was not done. See as people they people even shock. See as people they hail them, they talk, say, hey, we don't go back to your place. You want to come and destroy army officer property.
LCJ don't carry their truck go. Shame on you. Wike don't go with the truck. Soldier win this fight too. FCDA. Only one lots of soldier.
Every time they go, they're supposed to give order, say, may they destroy.
May they destroy. FCDA don't pack their truck. We cannot go. You want to collect soldier land?
They wife, people when they die for their land, they die for this land. Now you won't collect out from them. Very short now. Very short. Now these people they die for this land. Because if they won't happen now.
I'm telling you, we cannot carry.
You know, people actually, people are, to show you, say, people are tired. People don't tire for that kind of act. It be like, don't they happen? People come, they shout, say, people when they fight for the country, they give their life. Now they won't collect their land just like that. You know, see, as people, they hail, people just, they hail. As the bulldozer come, they go back. Because he say, man, don't be waiting, they talk. We can face the bulldozer go. From back. Nobody know where he take go. Then they say, I cannot allow this. I will not allow this. He can't do like say, he's still there around. Before he know it, he disappear. Like the office, call the bulldozer. Come back, come back. We'll do it next time. Which next time? You don't be say you don't. One bulldozer soldier. So only be ordinary soldier, naval officer. Those where they fresh. They will punish you, they smile. This is not the first time we.
I'm so sorry, like I was just like I couldn't leave that out. So it's funny. So I mean sorry, for fun, that's what we call it. So thank you very much for that. Now let's go back to their politics. It's not just Loretta. They was talking about Tifnumbu's probably like going to be a one-term president. There are Northerners who are already campaigning saying that Tifnumbu will be a one-term president, just one term. But one is even enough for somebody to make an impact, positively or negatively. In Tifnumbu's instance, even though he's told you that you are doing a reform and the reform is, you know, is turning corner and all those other jargons they are telling you, right? So he's already made the negative impact already. So you can say that Holu has made an impact. However, Rotif Miamechi seems to be very busy these days, right? He's been quite busy. He's been everywhere in the last few days. So yesterday, he was somewhere else again. And his message is the same. That people should come together and let them remove bad governments. Bad people to remove bad governments. Move from pan to fire. But you have to choose your poison, right? Watch this.
We must, as a people, as Nigerians, agree to chase a government that is bad out of government through legitimate means of election. I looked at the main topic, democratic governance and national cohesion, the rule of creditors, and I looked at the sub-theme. Say, if you're a literature graduate, it is called the writer and society. What is the role of the writer in the society? The writer is the mirror. He mirrors the society. He says, see your face, look at your face here. Nigeria will be a country where anybody who comes from any part of Nigeria can survive in any part of Nigeria that he goes to. That's when Nigeria becomes a country. When I can go to Lagos and survive in Lagos, when you can buy land in Port Harcourt and survive in Port Harcourt, when you can go to Kanu and survive in Kanu, worship freely. Now, I will end with this statement that I always say when I was in government. Government is complaining about insecurity. Do you know the cause of insecurity? If you provide the people with poverty, if you don't provide them with legitimate means of livelihood, they will provide for themselves illegitimate means of livelihood. True or false? I'm proud to go to the ceremony, and I asked Rochas that question 2 days ago. When the ceremony at ECOWAS, and the man, a rich man, is a billionaire, got up and said, I am donating, or I'm buying this book at the cost of 2 million naira on behalf of Amechi. Who is this man? He said, I was a contractor in your government, and you gave me contract without meeting me. 20 billion naira contract at that time. No, 2 billion. I said, I never met, I don't know this man. But that's not the question, that's not the issue. That's what I asked Rochas. Rochas, in Imo State, did you give any Rivers man contract? Because the man is from Imo State. And Rochas couldn't answer. Nigeria will be a country where anybody who comes from any part of Nigeria can survive in any part of Nigeria that he goes to. That's when Nigeria becomes a country. When I can go to Lagos and survive in Lagos, when you can buy land in Port Harcourt and survive in Port Harcourt, when you can go to Kanu and survive in Kanu, worship freely. I'll end by repeating what I have always said. I have friends here. When I became governor, I set up an advisory council. Advisory council, 60% of them were journalists. Most of them are here. If they say it's a lie, I will call their names. No, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Why don't laugh is that you can't attribute.
Maybe the mic wants to be off.
You can't attribute whatever he said, Amechi succeeded, to me alone. There were journalists who helped to advise me on things to do. There were only 2 places I disagreed with them: free education and free healthcare. Their argument that it was not sustainable. No, an aircraft, yes. Yes, I said I would buy it. They said I shouldn't buy it. But whether I bought aircraft or not, I continued with my free education and free healthcare until I left government.
Nuisance, Lele.
It's a madman. So he eventually bought, did you see how he glossed over that? And then the private jets. He ended up buying one, yeah, with 100 and, I think it was like 160 something billion naira of that time. So, but he didn't take delivery of that. He bought 2 aircraft then, because it felt like River State was rich enough for the governor to be flying his own private, jets. He's so busy. And he's also the chairman of the governors forum. It's crazy back then. So he's back to tell people that, everybody should come together to remove a bad government and replace it with what? Them, sort of. Anyway, the PDP are battling their own battle. They are supposed to start their convention tomorrow, where they will elect their own national officers, so that at least the party, they can start putting their party together if they will still make it in their 2027 charade. But that itself is proving so difficult for them because of all these divided interests. Everybody's got their own ego currently, like bouncing from all over the place. So the Wike's camp have already created their own faction enough to have their own chairman, who is currently pretending to be the national chairman of PDP. There is an acting one who is expected, who belongs to another faction. The faction that is also part and parcel of the state governors, those who are still left. I mean, I don't even know how to tell you the story of PDP in a very much better way, but don't mind me. So that's how disjointed the whole thing is, so to say. Okay? So those who are loyal to the governors, right, are holding their convention tomorrow. They're already in Ibadan. But before that, they've had a series of court order, court judgment, this and that, against and for. So they've been battling that. even though they are so fractured that they should probably like pack it or wrap it up or change the name or something, right? So currently they only have just about 7 or so governors left. Among them, there are 3 of them that are already talking to the APC and could possibly leave soon. An example is that Enugu governor, as well as a Bayelsa governor. These 2 guys were part of the plan to hold a convention in Ibadan. Today, they are no longer part of the party. Others are the Plateau governor, the Adamawa governor, at least those 2, are currently being prepped, and Taraba. So they are currently being prepped to join APC too. Meanwhile, they are also part of their convention. So it's kind of so disjointed. All right. So then there is another guy who just joined the fray and got denied. Okay. You see this convention, right? They have a Sule Lamido, a former governor of Jigawa, who suddenly changed his mind. He wanted to be the national chairman of PDP. But with the faction of these governors, not with Wike's. But it was denied the chance of buying their supposed interest form the usual way. And if you remember, if you recollect, the trouble of APC, the trouble of people destroying people actually started from when their national officers at the time, in 2014, 2015, printed just one single form, presidential form, and was given to Jonathan. Remember? That was what caused their exodus from the party at the time, and then brought them to this current state that they are, right? So they did that to Sule Lamido. They said there was no chairmanship form available for anyone else because they've already endorsed somebody who would be their candidate. So in this, so their scheming. But Lamido went to court to stop the convention or be given his own chance to contest as a chairman of their party, right? Then I think the court ruled in his favor that he must be allowed to purchase the form, right? So Lamido was in court. Was with the Sheung this evening. Part of their conversation I want to share with you, and then more.
His lawyers to strike out or take out all of those cases in court. Former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, is live for us on the program. Let's get that out of the way first and foremost. It does look like fake news. Is it true that you had meetings with some PDP governors and you have given up on the matter to say you are striking it out of court? What exactly is the position?
Well, thank you, Shaun. Let me say that, this conversation to me is the most difficult one in my life because it involves me as a person and my interest. Are you there with me? Because the issue now is me, so Lamido is a person, not about anybody else. I'm good, in talking about other issues, defending other rights and other people. But when the issue comes to me as a person, my own personality, I have difficulty, talking about because it's not in my culture or in my tradition to be talking about myself. So it's a very, very difficult and painful conversation for me today to be talking about myself and my right under my party, the party which I so much cherish. And so this judgment, this is about me withdrawing that, of course, Shaun was here this morning with me, because I came to me, but then the issue, I said, look, I can't do anything now because the issue is going to court and there'll be an injunction, and therefore there's going to be judgment. Whatever we do, let's be after the judgment, not before the judgment. So I got the judgment, and the judgment is my favor. Now, naturally, I should be jubilating, or I should be celebrating. But then again, I should also be crying because how on earth can I take my own party, the party I so much, which I labor for which I went to prison, to found, will now deny my own rights as an individual. So I went to court not because I have any personal interest, but I want to be able to get my right back taken by my party. The issue is just about my own personality, my own dignity, my own honor being restored more than anything else, more than winning the court. So I won the case, fair enough, but then again, it's also equally tormenting that, the case I won.
Yeah, that was him. Somebody said that, how could you hear what he's saying? Because he speaks faster. So that's his why. So just, you have to like slow your hearing. And then you hear everything he's saying. All right. And there is more, by the way, still on the same matter, that we can go to something else as well, right? Here.
Strike out or take out all of those cases in court. Former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, is live for us on the program. Let's.
You know something? That's an extended one, so don't worry. But in Ibadan, by the way, yeah, he won his case, and then in Ibadan, they were already gathered, like they were ready. The Lake Salami Stadium is the venue tomorrow and the day after. So they are expected to finally put this whole mess behind them, but it's not going to be behind them. Where the weakest men are still very much in the trenches. They are all at the flank, so they are waiting. But in Ibadan this evening, you all get you ready. So then the story is probably like others, right? It is always going to be endless. So there's going to be more from that in the coming days. Yeah. However, from other news that also made it to the internet today, that kind of got people like, is that true? Is it not true? Is the alleged death of the former governor of Anambra State, Obaino. No, sorry. I call him Obaino, by the way. So he's a Willie Obaino. So he's been living in the US. So he was allegedly said to have died of, heart attack and then, and others like that. Okay, but that wasn't true. It's not true. So his former commissioner put a call through to him just to quickly dispel that. And that was also posted on the internet later. So for the record, Obaino.
No, who's on Zeribe? Who's on Zeribe? Odima, my excellency, Odima. Oh, my regards to him. Hey. Admanolu, thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you. Thank you.
To quickly dispel it. So put a call through to him. And he even went further to make a video to say, no, I'm fine. I'm healthy. I don't know where that came from.
So we give God the glory. I see never I say, look, I will extend my life.
Yes.
I say, he said, through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
November 14, 2025. I forgot what I give for me.
God bless you, sir.
He's alive, he's not dead. In as much as he probably look a little bit frail, right? But however, he's not dead. A young man that raised the lamb in Abuja yesterday lost his own baby due to the supposed negligence of the health workers. So he raised the lamb, and it's quite a touchy one. So I want to share that with us.
I said, let the whole world hear. This is where my baby died. Gidamangoro Hospital, look at it. Gidamangoro Hospital, look at it here. This is where they kill my baby because of their incapability, because of their nonchalant attitude, because of their greed for money. They killed my child in this hospital. I've done everything they asked me to do from day one. This is what I've been doing as Nata. I've not owed them 5 naira. They asked me to do everything, whatever they can. I brought my wife to this same hospital for delivery. They asked me to pay money. I tell them, this is what how much I have first. Take it first. She has because of 8,000 naira. Nurse Rose, I remember the Nurse Rose, Timothy, or whatever. I wrote her name here. I have to transfer the 20,000 before she comments. And before then, my baby was already weak. Now we raised the baby to. Since yesterday, my baby has been in oxygen. Since yesterday, I've been in oxygen. From one hospital to another hospital. This baby has been in oxygen. This is where the whole thing started. Let the whole world hear. If you have your wife here, and you know your wife is pregnant here, you better tell them, these people they are not capable. They are not capable. This is where they kill my child. For 2 days, I've taken my child for oxygen. Because of their nonchalant attitude here. They kill my child for no reason. I told this nurse, continue. How much is 8,000 naira compared to what I've been paying here? And the nurse insisted because of 8,000 naira. Now she cost me more, not even just the money, she cost my son life. My wife has no way that I thought she's saying that to do. They have to lie to her that we're taking my child to another hospital. They have to lie to her that we're taking my child to another hospital. They have to lie that my child is going to another hospital. And because of their carelessness. And because of their carelessness. I begged this woman yesterday. I begged her. I said, control how much is 8,000. I told her, I said, how much is my account? Take it. Mama, take it. Let me go bring it. Just 8,000. In the hospital, I've been doing everything. This woman, she refused to save my child's life. Her name is Nurse Rose at Gidamangoro. This is Gidamangoro Hospital in Abuja here. My name is Victor and I'm with the victim. See.
This will be done because of aphasia. A simple thing people carelessly ignore. Just to sanction a child, what would it cost?
As you can see, I'm in the hospital with my sister. You can see I'm in the hospital with my sister.
1,000.
This is my child.
It's not even up to 1,000. The instrument to sanction a child. If you don't have the automatic one, and the child lost his life because of what? Just to sanction a child. The law that is on duty, we don't have anything.
The whole world we hear about this.
Also a mother. I'm not cursing you.
Her name is Nurse Rose. I remember her name is Nurse Rose.
Next time.
Nurse Rose. And I'm still coming for you. Because you say you're a mother. If you're a mother, you'll be careless. And I'm still coming for you. The whole world will hear of this. The whole world will hear of this. I said this is Gidamangoro. I'm in Gidamangoro Hospital here. This is Gidamangoro here. Look at it. This is Gidamangoro in Abuja. They are not capable of anything. They just employ nonchalant people. And I don't know if the government is not paying them or what, or the government is not taking note of this. Because I don't know if they are to be blamed or it's the government that is to be blamed. Because they just employ people that are not capable. I told you this is how much I have. Deliver the baby first. That's what is done everywhere. But I still tell you, how much is 8,000 naira compared to what I've transferred to you? She still telling me no, I must balance the time before they commence. Before that, now the child is weak. The child has drink water inside the mother's belly. He has been in oxygen since 2 days. Each hour for oxygen, I'm not much I'm paying inside town. Because of 8,000, I'm paying more than how much there in a day. For oxygen that, they are saying because of 8,000. I told her the money is not how much is 8,000? Commence this treatment, let me go and bring 8,000. This woman refused. Until they, as you have the guts to see me insulting me yesterday. Her own is done. The whole world will hear about her. Everybody has been asking which hospital. Everybody, everywhere we go, they ask me which hospital they deliver this child. If you're not capable, you tell me to move my child to somewhere else. From day one, this is what we have been. Sometimes they will tell me to do Asanta. My neighbor will tell me that Asanta is too much. That to go and do scanning. Every time they will tell me scanning, and they will tell me that the money for the scanning is excess. I said no problem. Every time if I know I will transfer. But yet, 8,000, the same person I'm transferring money for. I told this how much in my account here. Let me transfer it for. Let me go and bring them 8,000. Comment this thing. This woman was insisting That's how we normally lie. Me, I will lie. I'm trying to tell you, I bought him with the delivery pack here. When they tell me the delivery pack, once I didn't even come, I just transfer the money. The same person. Now, shall keep my child. The whole world here of North Rose. What's that full name? I wrote it. You say your SMB are using, and I've sent you the money, Abi. That money now to bring my son's life back. Say, her name is Timothy Abuja Rose. Timothy Abuja Rose in Gidamangoro Hospital. At Gidamangoro Hospital, Abuja. Gidamangoro is a hospital in Abuja, Orozo Road. Along Orozo Road.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving. People should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no way.
I mean, stories like that, most of them don't make it to the internet. Right? When they tell you about child mother mortality rate, that's what they are talking about. Carelessness, and the fact that in this 2025, yeah, people still have to wait for money before they offer what some will call the first aid for somebody whose life is probably in danger, right? In 2025, you're still hearing stories of they ask us to pay because we haven't paid. That is why they decided to stop treating this, and like them babies. Then when you hear the money, the reason why they stop taking care of people, the reason why they stop treating them, ridiculous money. Ordinarily, if you have a functional system, right, there will be provisions for all these kind of shortcomings where the poorest of the poor or anyone in distress will still be able to get first aid treatment that keeps them alive enough to know what their medical base is going to entail, or if you are not going to be able to handle it. But no, I witnessed the killing of a young man. This was way back in maybe 2002, 23, 24 years ago. It was way back. So we had this massive hospital. It's called the Shadrach Hospital. I don't even know if it's still there anymore now. Association Avenue in Lukweju, right? It's called Shadrach Hospital. Very big and modern then. And beside it was a very massive supermarket as well. We call it a Mazi Supermarket on that Association Avenue. All right. So we used to have this problem of armed robberies and all of that. And it was also the time where you had Operation Sweep. Marwa was governor, military governor of Lagos State then. No, that's why I'm going to go back. No, it's not 2001. I'm going to go back. Probably like 98, 97, 98. It's actually way back. Because Marwa was the governor of Lagos State then. So this armed robbery was like a constant thing. Once it's 7 p.m., you're likely going to just hear, bah, 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 bah. They've started, everybody will just run inside. But at a point, it was like almost every day. So that unfortunate evening, so we started hearing, bah, 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 bah. There were policemen who ran into our own shop, shot the shop and all that. So when the whole gunshot was all like dead, so everybody came out. That was when we realized that they just shot the man who just came back from abroad for his own wedding that weekend. And he was just like driving by Ilukweju, and he saw that supermarket and he felt like, oh, he would stop there and buy. there were 2 stationed Operation Sweep trucks in front of that supermarket. For those of you who are probably around that time in the Lukeju. So security were there, Operation Sweep. So he stopped by and he went into the supermarket. It was around the time the armed robbers came. Then they killed, I think they killed the 2 soldiers, right? Who were mounting security in front of the place. They killed 2. Then I don't know what happened. They shot him. They didn't kill him right away. So people started like, they were pandemonium. People were like, hey, they've shot somebody, they've shot somebody. So all of us rushed out. You know, the whole place crowded. This man was left, for those who have for those who probably will remember that Shadrach Hospital, Ilupeju and all that, right? So my description won't be harder for you. But for those who probably didn't have a clue, so it's that, you see this hospital, right? You have this building. Their building seems to have like started from here. There's this long stretch of stairs that makes it look like you are climbing stairs before you get to the landing. And then when you get to the landing, then you walk straight to the reception. Sure, you get that kind of hospital. It's like about 4 or 5-story buildings, right? This man was left at the entrance on the landing, okay, of this hospital, shot, bleeding. I was so young then. I was kind of like a young man, a young boy rather. So I saw it. I saw him bleeding.